everyone, and welcome back to the Brightworks, and a beautiful day for Beyond All Reason. I'm very excited today as we drop into these games. Excuse me, nice and early. Oh my goodness, I gotta start hosting these tournaments a little later. But I'm very excited to drop into what we have here today. It's going to be none other than the internal APM tournament that they've organized here, and it looks like they've got an absolutely stacked roster. APM, one of the biggest clans out there, holding I mean, I'm just looking at the roster here, and we have members as high as like 48 open skill in 1v1 and some small team games as well. And this tournament looks super interesting too, because it's got a really unique format. Basically, the way that this works is there's multiple different rounds. Each round has a different team size, so I'm not entirely sure how the scoring all works, but they invited me to come check it out and have a look and basically just hang out and watch some top-tier games of Beyond All Reason. That's what we're going to be doing today. This is all going to be saved and put up on the archive, so if you're watching this from the VOD, welcome after the fact. There's also going to be probably a bunch of replays that I cast from this tournament, so it's going to be a whole day full of fun. But anyways, the starting round here is going to be 1 versus 1, and I've decided to jump on into what looked like one of the highest skill level lobbies that I could find. There's a whole bunch of them, so if you're out there and you're watching this after the fact, don't don't take that too personally. But I did feel like this is one of the best ones, and we're gonna go ahead and drop right into it here. So, spawning in the first 1v1 of the day. There'll be 1v1s, there'll be small team games, but the first is a 1v1, and it's gonna be none other than Rexel, wearing that beautiful little goblin with the punching glove here as well as we get underway. Everybody loves the little goblin. I feel like the little goblin on the head is just so... mwah. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's a previous... I believe it was like a fight night? Yeah, I want to say it was a fight night... something or other. It was the... I thought you got it if you won the tournament. I noticed Rexel doesn't have the tournament winner badge, so maybe you just got it for participating. I'm not entirely sure, but anyways... The little goblin hat right there. Gonna be playing as Armada and sending out a whole handful of ticks. We've got 2 heading up north and 2 heading down south here on Glacial Gap? No, sorry, the cold place. I was thinking of Glacial Gap. That's the one with the big water lane in the middle here. That'd be a fun map too, though. That was another thing that was really interesting about this tournament, is that basically the entire thing, every match happens on a random map. So apparently they roll random maps and then you can choose... Alright, well, I don't know if they choose or if they just have to play the random map, but either way, it basically all happens on random maps, so it's really kind of interesting. A air opener here for Flying Duck, spawning on the top left-hand side as a core commander. Gonna be sending out an early bomber. Okay, this is a blind bomber too, so first bomb's not gonna connect with much, but the second bombing pass here should definitely hit those wind turbines, dealing a ton of damage. Anti-air bots firing away right here, chipping away at that bomber, getting it pretty low here. It will have enough HP to come back around for a second bombing pass. We're going to try and take out that metal extractor, but for now, popping those wind turbines does help out a lot. Shuriken to try and clean up any of these ticks that might push in right here. You can see we're now reclaiming the laboratory after getting the Shuriken out for the defense. Bomber has looped all the way around. It's taking the long way here. Yep, AA bot moving into position. I love that. So was this one bomber worth it for the delay on the map? I would say so. Yeah. It does mean we have to get these units out pretty quick here, though. Oh, bombs away on the mechs back here, but it doesn't actually manage to kill it. Yikes. That's a close call right there. A-bot firing away. Ooh. Okay, there we go. We managed to pop the mechs one more. Bombing run, and it will go down. More construction bots going out. I mean, the position here for... Rexel is just so much control over the map. That's the negative of this start right here, is that you lose a lot of time expanding out on the map right now. The benefit, of course, being you can do some early damage, though. And this bomber isn't dead yet, although it is going down. Yeah, it's thinking about ways to come back in here. We're blind targeting the mexes down, which is... I mean, it's okay. Yeah, not much more value we're gonna get here, though. AA bot should... Yep, there we go. Finally hit this thing. Oh, one more bombing run. Hey, do we get more wind turbines? Nice. Okay, 3 more wind turbines. 4 more wind turbines go down. I think that bomber definitely paid for itself. It is just a tricky moment, right? At least for now, it means APM does have a flying start as far as the wind speed goes. Wind speed is quite high on this map. You're never going to be below the threshold for efficient wind speed. This is the biggest advantage, though, is look at this. We have the shuriken out now for the defense. Oh, I kind of love the shuriken for the defense. That does help out a lot here. Uh-oh. Something went wrong with my... Oh, no. Is stream still... Oh, gosh. I hope stream is still up. Something went wrong, and it's no longer showing me the... It's no longer showing me the stream. Oh, no. Technical difficulties abound. That just, you know, that happens every time. Something went wrong. Weird. Well... It looks like it's... I mean, I'm getting green lights, so we're just gonna hope and pray that it's all good. I just can't see chat. That's really weird. Okay. Well, anyway. Technical difficulties aside, we're just gonna trooper on. Sorry if I can't hear you. Grunts finally headed out on the map right here. Anti-airbots not gonna fight the grunts well. It's a pretty bad matchup right there. Ooh, we have the pawn. We have the cons. And we're gonna go for the max. Go for the guaranteed damage. Not a bad idea. Oh, I like the attempt right there. Tried to save it with a little bit of repair micro. Didn't actually manage to, but that's okay. I mean, these cons are both here. They can just rebuild those mexes. It's not the end of the world. Reinforcements are heading up north here as well. And you can see that the metal lead is just fantastic here for Rexel, who's gotten so much extra metal for the last probably 2 minutes or so. Adds up to a couple hundred extra units on the, or a couple hundred metal worth of extra units on the field, setting up LLTs all over the place. In fact, I wouldn't even mind seeing beamer turrets at this point. They are pretty solid for dealing with little run-bys, and they can handle a little bit more than normally the LLTs would be able to. Another set of grunts moving in, and that is the trick of this map, is that there's also this giant opening on the external side of the map. The entire rim of the map is lined with these mountains. Super difficult to contest. Also super easy to run by with. Yep, you see those grunts retreating into the mountains right here, trying to run away. Trying to get out of range and find some value here. Pawns engaging. With their little buff, pawns are ever so slightly faster. Now, Legion will be enabled for this tournament. We don't have it this game, but Legion will be enabled for this tournament. And apparently there's some interesting changes that occurred as well. There's some cool stuff with, like, basically Legion, the mexes were reworked, as I understand it. So I'm not entirely sure. In fact, I'm gonna not spoil it here. We're we're gonna get to experience it together. It should be a lot of fun. There's a whole host of other tweaks as well. Basically, it's called the Fair Gaming Balance Patch. There we go. I pulled up stream on a different screen, so at the very least I know that it's working. Flying Duck moving into the southern side comfortably here. There is a giant row of LLTs, but again, it just doesn't matter if the entire thing is vulnerable to a little run by on the hills over here. This is something we see time and time again on this map, is just that these hills are so dangerous. People die from the hills all the time. Not to mention things like spider bots can crawl around really effectively up there. But you don't even really need it. Like pawns and grunts and basically anything else can crawl around over here as well. There's enough pathing. Oh, LLT to defend. I might be able to. Yeah, okay. Nicely done. LLT actually keeps that mex alive, and so the grunt won't be able to do anything. And that pretty much shuts down the run-bys over here. We are expanding the LLTs into the mountain now. Giant run-by on the northern side here. Grand handful of units, 700-ish metal worth of pawns, encroaching on the LLTs and the con bots and the mexes and all the rest of it. The red fortifications go down, and just like that, this northern side is crumbled. We're going to need a lot of reinforcements sent that way. We have a vehicle transition right here from Flying Duck as we go ahead and get our way into that sort of not tier 2, but sort of a parallel army. We're expanding laterally rather than horizontally here as we diversify the unit composition going into those incisors. Recently nerfed incisors, mind you. Actually, I don't know if the nerf applies here in this balance patch. It might not. Incisors are pretty good regardless. Even with the nerf, incisors are still pretty good. Do we have a couple of resbots, though? Yep, there they are. Resbots coming up right now as we do send those out to the field. Are we going to actually resurrect, or are we just going to reclaim? I wouldn't mind seeing a res, at least on... we could try and get out here and resurrect the con bots. Yeah, there they are. There's one con bot left over on this northern... Actually, there's two of them. Yeah, okay. Resurrecting both the con bots is huge. That saves you a ton of time getting units out there. Oh, look at this. How cheeky, though. We've gone for a destroyer and put it in the pocket here. If we move it in a little further... Yep, there we go. Now I can harass down all these juicy 2.4 mexes. That's a fantastic hit right there for the blue commander. Thug's getting ready to engage over here, and we do have that counterattack on that northern side. The pawns, I mean, trying to hold. LLT's doing a great job as well. There's one hero LLT doing a great job. This is the rare occasion where I feel like maybe a Twilight would be worth it. The cloakable metal extractor that is a EMP bomb if it gets killed. I almost feel like it. Yeah, I almost feel like this might be the rare instance where maybe a couple of Twilights would be justified. Like one or two of them out in the front here to paralyze a big chunk of that army, and then means that, you know, only, what, half of it or something comes by after the fact and hits the LLTs. It's always difficult to quantify just how powerful those can be, but every time I see somebody using those Twilights, it ends up working out great for them. I don't know. It's one of those things that on paper doesn't seem like it should work out really well. But then you go use it in-game, and it actually works out fantastically. It also makes my job difficult, because it's hard for me to explain why that works. I don't even know why it works. It's just about snowball sizes, right? Like, if you paralyze enough of the enemy army, you take 2 efficient fights rather than 1 relatively inefficient fight. That's really all it is. Speaking of inefficient fights here, though, the blue commander's sending in forces one by one right now. Meanwhile, the resbots are patching everything up. Love the destroyer being repurposed over here as more of a harassment tool just to try and poke some of this down. But the resbots are getting to work, lifting all these units back up out of their graves. No rest for the wicked, I suppose. The incisors and pawns resurrected and sent back against their fellow man. My goodness. Well... now the blue commander has to hold. Where are the... oh, Banshee transition. I didn't even catch the air transition right here. You know what I might do? Professional commentator caster here. Fiddling with my widgets live. This one. Strategic construction tracker. There we are. Let me go ahead and open this up. I don't know if this is still working. It looks like it might not be. It is working, it just isn't, there's not T1 transitions on here. Well, anyway, if we see a T2 transition today, which I'm certain we may at some point, this will be very, very nice. But okay, here we are. Banshee's actually ripping through the armor plating right here. Banshee's also one of those units got a little bit of a buff. Their bullets are ever so slightly faster, if I remember correctly. Anti-air turrets need to be focused down here. Yeah, there we go. I'm glad to see Banshees have a purpose once more. Yep, snipe those resbots. That's huge. If you get those resbots off the field, the resurrection stops happening. And obviously that means this army stops growing off of the corpses that you've been feeding them. The Banshee's also quite nice for providing a bunch of vision, too. Faster and slightly more AoE. Oh. AoE on the Banshees. That's interesting. Didn't notice that. Red Commander. Completely surrounded, though. Overwhelmed by the medium tank transition on the southern side. Flying Duck. Forced out of this game. Nicely played. GG is called. Rexel manages to take the victory. And if we have a look at these stats right here, not as big of an advantage early into this game as I would have thought. You can see around the 3-minute mark is really where things started to divide. I feel like if we had pivoted away from the bomber almost immediately, like if we had gone for 2 shuriken and then eaten the lab almost immediately, maybe this divide could have been shortened ever so slightly, but it definitely did feel like we just never quite got back to the eco-scaling to match Rexel right there, and I think this is really what it culminated in. Hundreds more vehicles on the field. Hundreds more metal worth of vehicles. It probably was about 100 vehicles, but we've got hundreds of metal more in vehicles on the field. Very nice. I don't know if this is like a best of 3 format or if it's literally just a 1v1 format. 1v1 round. There's lots to look at here. I think it's literally just one game. And then after this, we go into... So we have 2 rounds of 1v1, and then we have a couple rounds of small team. And then after that, I do believe we have a big team game. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Well, anyway, we'll jump on into another match right here. You can see there's a whole bunch of different games going on. Let's see if we can't find another one that looks pretty good. There's a whole bunch of them. As you can see. How about a Kyle versus Green Fox? Sure. 11 minutes in, so we're kind of joining a little bit late here. Obviously, we've watched one game, so we're jumping into the second one a little bit late, but we'll do some speed casting as we catch up to the live speed here. Kyle spawning in the southwestern side. Got my west and east mixed up. Spawning on the southwestern side here. Green Fox spawning on the northeastern. Both of which going for a little bit of a vehicle into air transition right here. So both expanding up onto the high ground, using those cons. And then, of course, we have a couple of amphibious vehicles. A Kyle spawning as a Legion Commander. Ooh, very cute. Okay. So we've got a Legion Commander in the water in amphibious tanks. We're going for those Cetus amphibious tanks. They are basically the same as like a Garpike or a Pincer. They're very light. They do a big burst of damage, but they are ultimately not super impressive. They're just kind of useful in the sense that they can swim. That's all. That's their one go-to strategy. Now, am I understanding this correctly that these are... Legion does not have an overcharged max. Yeah, okay, interesting. So Legion, so this is interesting to me because it means Legion still has the metal penalty. These maxes are 1.9, but you can see that they're only actually getting 1.7 out of these. But they don't have their overcharged max, which was kind of the whole point. Like that was when, like Legion. The idea about the Legion is that they have the overcharged max for when you build those, you can make up that metal extractor difference. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I don't know how that actually shakes out with the balance here. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The overcharge mixes can be stupid powerful, though. Especially in 1v1. If you can manage to... Oh, this is going to move around every time? Ooh. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Anyway. Especially in 1v1. I mean, obviously, like a mirror matchup or something like that, it's going to come down to whoever has the most metal extractors, and if you can get those overcharge maxes, you can certainly do some damage. Oh, we're going for a destroyer. Syracusia coming up here for the Red Commander. Kyle going into those heavy heat ray boats. Little drone launcher platform as well, mounted on top there. I love the drone launchers. Sort of like Legion's bread and butter, right, is the drones. Almost feel like we need to start eating up these labs, though. Yeah. I'm not entirely convinced that keeping these labs around is the best idea. Wind speed also plummeting right now, down to just 3 wind speed per second. Ugh, yikes. Yeah, both of these teams heavily spec'd, or both of these players rather heavily spec'd into wind speed. A couple of solar panels here for the blue commander, so that's quite nice, but we don't have any more. Red commander entirely put into wind. 100% invested in the wind right here means that this is, yeah, gonna be a major E-stall. Torpedo frigates coming up here as well. You do need them. You can't skip them, otherwise you put yourself in a really risky position. Kyle's got money to spend, but no way to spend it. I almost wonder if you use these planes to start building static harassment. LLTs, Dragon's Jaws, all those sorts of things. We're building a giant vehicle army, but there's no way to... What is the plan? These vehicles can't go down this hill. There's no... If we rotate the camera, you can see it's a sheer drop-off. As badly as those tanks want to cram each other down that hill, that's not happening. Could we maybe see like a transport play? I wouldn't mind that. Maybe 5 or 6 transports. I mean, it's GG because my lull strat didn't really work. I mean, I guess so, but this match isn't really over. Wait, how did we... Oh, the tech! He blasted his own units with the pounder to shoot them off of the cliffside. I've never seen that before, ever. Okay. Incisor managed to hop, skip, and jump down the hill using a little bit of a glitch right there. Is it a glitch or is it tech? I don't know. Medium, yeah, look at this. Okay, hold on. Can we see it again? Can we see it? Come on, one more time. It's being blocked by this little hill right here. The Incisor get into the backline from an angle that was not supposed to be harassable. Green Fox has basically found a way to bypass the terrain of the game. Just send your tanks flying, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Here goes those Syracusia, though. Do we have enough anti-air for all this? Not really. If enough means none, then, yeah. Wow. I love the banter in chat, by the way. What a crazy play. I mean, it's GG because my wall strat didn't work, and Green Fox says it's GG, but for another reason. Yeah, look at that. Using the pounder to try and knock the units off the ledge so they fall down to the lower side. What a cheesy gamer right there. Green Fox showing us some absolute tech. Wow. Alright, GG is called. You can see the metal advantage, by the way, here. Green Fox with just regular metal extractors, and then you can see the you can see the red economy, the Red Legion economy of a Kyle here is significantly lower. It's the reason why Legion has to be so aggressive, is because if you don't take more space than your opponent, you're actually still going to take a metal loss. I can't believe that strat is so funny. Sending the tanks over to the ledge and then blasting them over with the pounder impulse is just nuts. Somehow I always wondered if that was possible. I've never seen it practically used in a game, though. Like, there's so few cases where that even makes any sense to do. But oh my goodness, he got like 5 or 6 Incisor into the backline completely unscouted. All the mechs died. The wind turbines popped next as well. What a cheesy gamer. Looks like Zeberg and Mirrored are wrapping their game up right here. We have Aravos and Mariji are also playing. We'll go ahead and join into this game. 12 minutes long game on, oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of this map, but this map is not usually one that goes long. What a genius. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it. That is so funny. What a funky little strategy, but managing to impulse units over the cliffside. What a weird little maneuver, but I kind of love it. Alright. What is this map named again? Tundra, that's right. Okay. Spawning on this other side of Tundra here, we have Aravos playing as a core commander. Going for a core air lab. We also have the core vehicle lab. We're about midway through this game. We're sort of heading towards that early T1 mid-game where you're mainly spamming out battle tanks. Armada on the northern side here for Mariji. Going into a little air transition themselves. Going to be getting that lab up and running, and looks like we're going for a big bomber transition. Okay. A lot of build power centered around that, so I do like that the bombers will be coming out here eventually. Little engagements across the field right here. Tons and tons of units, but where are the res bots? They're a little bit delayed behind the main group. As long as these res bots are included, though, this isn't too bad. Pawn's doing a little multi-prong aggression here as they move in on the right-hand side, trying to blast away. More and more units reinforcing from the left now. And all said and done, this front line is looking quite nice. Resbots move in almost immediately. Do we repair or do we res? I feel like we res. Pounder tank is dangerous. We need to see some splitties. Oh, no splitties on those units hurts. Yikes. Rosebot's making the most out of all this, reclaiming what they can, but they're going to get killed here too. Ah, you know what? That was a little bit messy. I am not a big fan. We're losing more Resbots here as well. Mariji's kind of letting it slip out of the hands here. Bombers coming out of the laboratory, so we are getting ready for that. As these bombers are slowly starting to come up here. This looks worse and worse right now. I mean, yeah, so much metal was actually left in the hands here of Aravos. So that engagement didn't end up being as bad of a trade as it probably could have. Those Rosebots needed to move a little bit quicker. A little bit of indecisiveness, I think, is what we're seeing right there from Mariji. Not sure whether to try and resurrect this army or reclaim it, but reclaiming it absolutely would have been the right move, right? Sending all that metal back and using it to stimulate the bomber production, or otherwise just use it to reinforce the army, I think would have been the right move. We're gonna, you know what, we're gonna disable this. There it is. Bing! Strategic Construction Tracker, I absolutely love it. It is far and away one of my favorite widgets in the entire game. It just only really works if players go T2. Well, we might turn it back on for like the small team games because those probably have a good odds of going T2. The T1 or the the 1v1 games, not as likely. Little beamer turret coming up right here. Kind of love it. There we go. Yeah, it cuts down the constructor. Going to be able to kill these armored mechs as well. The exploiter. Not bad. Little bit of a grunt run by. Grunt and incisor run by. Man, you can see how much work that one beamer turret did, though. 4 incisor dead, plus a pawn. And the grunts were still forced back. I mean, that is great. Bomber was spotted here, though. That's a huge spot, actually. Yep. Fighters are out now. They're going to jump on top of that bomber. We have to see some defensive action. If those bombers go down for free, that's a giant investment we've made into these bombers here. 11 of them in total. Red fighters shooting down the blue bombers. Blue fighters trying to shoot down the red bombers. Yeah, there they go. Bombers are away over here. I think it's time we go. Once your air has been scouted, it just gives way too much time for anti-air to come up here. Do we have any anti-air? Oh, it doesn't look like it. We need some ground-based anti-air. Mariji also way overexposed here. Oh, yikes. I don't think this commander can afford to be this far out at this point in the game. It's late enough into the game that we could see an army of just like 24 incisor moving around. We don't have that here, but it's not unbelievable. Mariji also a little low on energy. Forced to pull the entire army here to try and wrap up these medium tanks. We need some much better splitties. We need to see like a giant style surround right here. Ugh. Meat into the meat grinder, and you can see the little bit of AoE on those tanks is amplified a ton. Doesn't even matter though. Bombers are overhead in the main base. Aravos loses all of the energy production in the backline. Fighters sweeping overhead as well. And all of a sudden these bombers have their pick of the base. Everything is falling over now. Solar panels go down means that Aravos is desperately e-stalled here, down to just 100 energy per second. Doesn't have the energy for production, doesn't have the energy to continue the harassment. Units tried to go for the snipe over there, but I don't think it's going to matter. At what point do we just start bombing the commander? This is one of those moments where you're like, yeah, I guess we'll just go for the win. Huge energy lead, a 700, nearly 800 energy lead here. Percent energy lead. Yeah, that'll be it. Mariji manages to take this one with a well-timed, excellently executed bombing run. Yeah, sends across the map, manages to take out the air forces, kills all the E production, and of course desperately stalls out Aravos. And that'll be just about all she has to say about that. Okay. Quick set of round 1 games right here coming out today. We already saw some impressive tech, though. I still can't get over the lead chopping tech. Yeah, that was unbelievable. There are so few games where, where that kind of a thing could matter at all, where that tech could possibly come in handy. And yet, in the very first round of matches, we're already there. Fantastic. Alright, well, as we move into round 2, looks like we've got some great matches coming up here now. Hi, Brightworks. Hello, Mariji. Howdy. Gotta say hi to the players. Keep them all amped up. Alright. And we should be all set. Meow Cat Meow versus APM Blossom. Are we in the... Oh yeah, there we are. Okay. Let's jump into this game. I bet this one's going to be a banger. 1 minute and 42, so we missed the early game. That's okay. Pretty much just getting started here. Trying to keep up with all these matches, but we do have gamers gaming their hearts out as gaming as they can. And they're eager. They're eager and willing to play. How could I be mad about that? Alright, as we drop into Onyx Cauldron here. This map I'm definitely familiar with here. We have a, Legion Commander. Okay, cool. Meow Cat Meow going to be playing as Legion here on the southern side, going for some of those metal extractors. And again, I don't know how I feel about the no overcharge mexes. Like, this is normally a map where you can get away with a little bit of overcharge mex greed because of these energy crystals. You can pay for that huge energy tax that's normally, what is it, like 5,000, 4,000 energy on one of those? Hype. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the #1 crown. I see you, Slick Like Vic. Normally you can afford that super steep energy cost on those overcharge mexes using these energy crystals. You can reclaim all this and it pays for it really nicely. If you don't have those, you're just at a metal disadvantage the entire game. It was my understanding that Legion balance basically hinged around having that option to get your economy a little bit ahead of the enemy in the T1 era. Maybe it's just too good for 1v1 though. We'll see. If I don't see any Legion wins today, I'm going to be very suspicious. That's all I'm saying. Blossom moving out here now has a couple of grunts. We're expanding with the cons. This is all very stock standard though. No cheesy like air shenanigans or anything like that. No weird like transport drops around the edge of the map. That's one of the things we've seen sometimes. There's some really interesting stuff, but nothing like that this game anyways. Meow Cat Meow just going for a little bit more energy. Wind speed is quite high right now. It can go low on this map, but it normally stays pretty high. Yeah, no delay at all. It's very nice. It's super annoying, in fact, when I have to cast with delay. I hate it. I really do. I mean, I understand. I totally get it for, like, fairness sake. I get why there has to be a stream delay. But my goodness, it makes it so annoying when I'm, like, responding to something somebody said 5 minutes ago, and then I don't get to know their response for another 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, I can't even talk to you. I feel like Rose on the Titanic. Oh, Jack, never let me go. But it's 5 minutes later and you've already let him go. Grunt's moving in on this southwestern side here. What an awkward little stare down. Goblin's wondering what's going on right here. A little bit of a grunt run by over here. That's an excellent catch. Okay. Yeah, Meow Cat Meow getting a little greedy, sending in those, sending out that con without really any escort. Goblins eventually going to engage against all this. The thing is, you need so many goblins to counteract grunts. Grunts are very power dense, at least compared to the goblin. We've got these little showdowns going on all over the map, which is cool to see. Goblins did get smoked on the northern side, though. Construction bot moving out here. Going to be slapping down those metal extractors alongside the commander, moving in here too. Gonna have a little bit of a bump of the heads as Meow Cat Meow and Blossom both run face first into each other right here. Okay. Bonk. Neither of them gonna get that metal extractor that they were hoping for here. LLT is coming up immediately. Goblins trying to find their way around. Are we going to be making a vehicle transition anytime soon? We're at that 500 energy mark that's usually around the time we see that transition. No, we're going to go for E-converters. Okay. It's a little greedy. I kind of love it, though. Still a ripping start right here for Blossom. For a Legion Commander, again, you have to be ahead in order to be ahead. You have to be ahead to be even. It's basically how Legion shakes out, especially without those overcharge mexes. So, yeah, this is a little bit weird. I wouldn't mind seeing these armies aggressing into each other a little bit more. Like, the fight commanding here could be a little bit better. Set target commanding can work really nicely as well. Did the goblins take it here? Maybe. Yeah, the goblins do manage to trade out decently against this army. It's basically a one-to-one trade, unit count-wise. But that does put the grunts ahead, as far as metal cost and damage and all that sort of stuff goes. Good morning, barriers. It's like warriors, but for bar. I see. I see your games. Handful of goblins trying to sneak around over here as well. Blossom now in a little bit of trouble as these Satyr come up. Satyr are the commander killers. They are basically perfectly suited for firing at commanders. They have a ton of range to do decent damage. 2% damage is like almost the same as what a mace or a thug would do to a commander. They're super powerful, but they're also super cheap, so you can get 100 of them out on the field really, really quickly. And there's also something to be said for the flanking damage as well. Yeah, look at that. Going for a big old push right here. All the forces pushing in at the same time. Goblins now activating that flanking bonus here. Blossom in a little bit of trouble. Feeling a little bit nervous, certainly. We're just absorbing this, okay. Goblins are not commander killers. Those are like the opposite of commander killers. They're horrible at killing commanders. They do like 1% per blast. It's really nothing to write home about. I think it's actually less than 1%, I believe. Okay, Grunt gets atomized. Giant run by on the northern side here. Eventually cleaned up, but it does give free reign to continue expanding over here. And indeed, we do have a constructor queued to do all that. I don't know where. Are we just paused? Oh, we're paused. Okay. Well, that's not the end of the world. We do have the vehicle transition planned out here as well. Mainly, though, we're just trying to keep everything alive on this northern side. LLT's coming up all over the place here for Meow. We do also have this expansion on the southern side, so that's quite nice. Yeah, we're delayed. We're delayed on expanding into this northern side. I don't know if we just forgot. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we open this up again, and we are going to keep expanding, but this needs to come up under control here of red if we want to maintain that eco balance. For now, a metal advantage for Meow Cat Meow. It worries me, though, with Blossom such low HP. I wonder if we might be able to go for something cheeky like a snipe. Yeah, there we are. Just indeed, as I was just thinking it, the mosquito gunships are rolling out of the laboratory right here. You've already chipped off 50% of the HP of that commander. You may as well go for something a little bit cheeky. We indeed have 2 gunships and many more coming out on the way. These mosquito gunships are brutal. They're a Banshee, but with heat-seeking missiles. It's great. I mean, for what that's worth, it's great. Satyr here, a little bit tricky to go up against grunts with. Those plasma projectiles are kind of iffy. Love the mosquitoes here, though. If possible, I'd also love to see a jammer, just so we don't see these till the absolute last possible second. We do have 59% of HP on the commander. Not the end of the world, but it is. It definitely makes it a lot easier. Insides are rolling out here on the southern side. Satyr balling up. Defensive circle. I don't think the defensive circle is working. It's more like an offensive surround. The grunts get a fantastic trade right here. And all of a sudden, that's a giant red army headed directly towards the blue base. Okay, well, now it's an all-in. Meow Cat Meow has one opportunity, one chance to capture it. Or let it slip. Does Meow Cat Meow like mom spaghetti, is the question. Yeah, you really don't want to go until you know you have the absolute maximum amount that you can. But we can't wait any longer. Blossom cloaks immediately here. Oh, yeah, and we didn't see the commander position. Oh, did we? Oh, it might just be good enough. Yeah, you can't really move that. Fighters come out now. 19%. 14. Oh, it's very close. Oh, we don't see the dot. Or we do see the dot, rather, but we don't know exactly where Blossom is at. The AoE is still chipping away at that commander, though. Oh, it's so close. The base is being destroyed. Meanwhile, in the backhand here, 10% HP remaining on the commander. Oh, we just don't quite have enough, do we? Fighters come out and save the day. The LLT's helping out here a ton as well. And Blossom, by 10% HP on a commander, by a whopping total of 400 HP, manages to take the victory with a nice little counterattack right here. Almost sniped it. But Blossom does walk away with the win. Just barely walks away, but walks away nonetheless. Yeah, you can see that advantage just grows so quickly here. Out of Legion's control. If you're not super aggressive on the map, if you're not denying those metal extractors, you just can't compete. You really can't compete. It's a 30% metal disadvantage. That adds up way too quickly on the field. GG. What an excellent little series right there. I love the gunship. The attempt on the gunship snipe was just mwah, chef's kiss. Really beautiful. Is this game going on? Oh, it is going on. Okay. We'll have another look at another Kyle game. See what's going on. Rexel versus Heavy Water was a 1-0 win for Rexel. Nicely done. One title speed. Interesting. No title power whatsoever on this planet, apparently. This is interesting. This is a rather large game for, or a rather large map rather, for a 1v1. This is normally like a 3v3 map. Cortex spawning on the southern side here. It's a Kyle, otherwise known as a Kyle Dark. Spawning the northern side. It's Mistia Lorelli, otherwise known as, wow, quite a lot of names. Otsamu Matsu, Otsamu, and Otsamu Matsu. Of a million different clans. But today it's going to be Mistia. Little run by on the northern side here. We do have a handful of grunts threatening here on the northern side. What is this one called? Plenty of pawns? Plethora of pawns, that's right. This is a many pawns makes this map good for hovercraft. Cool. Yeah, nice. I don't think I'd be surprised if we see hovercraft this match. Hovercraft are not particularly popular. They're kind of the forgotten child of Beyond Our Reason, the black sheep of Beyond Our Reason. Not many people tend to go for hovercraft in this game. And for valid reason, hovercraft stink. It would be cool though. Do you think Legion needs to put down overcharge mixes to keep up in 1v1? Yeah, absolutely. That's like the whole point, is the overcharge mixes are necessary in 1v1 because you have a 30% metal disadvantage by default. So it's part of the ebb and flow is like Legion opens up with a relatively weak economy, but if you stay in T1 for too long, they can get those overcharge mixes and then their economy overtakes yours. So it works both ways, right? Like it pressures Cortex and Armada players to get their economy up to T2 to outpace the Legion commanders, and then it also works to put pressure on Legion commanders to be really aggressive in the early game to deny a bunch of metal expansions to their opponent. It goes both ways, and yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, removing them outright is difficult. it raises some difficult issues to solve for Legion because yeah, they really don't have another option. Like as we've seen time and time again here, every Legion commander is now forced to go into some sort of desperate last, like one base all in effectively because they don't have any other options. They lose the economy as soon as the game goes even, and then they have to make some sort of desperation throw. We've got Centurion Gaming coming out here today. Loads of them all over the place here. I kind of love it. Centurions are the meatball boys that we all know and love. Look at them waddling around. Look at those big old shoulders. Yeah. I'm convinced that that's just a pawn in there. Like, they've got the same, like, one eye. Okay, this is a really specific call, but it is culturally relevant right now. How about the heavy, what are they called, the amp suits from Avatar, the like heavy combat suits? It feels like it's just a pawn wearing one of those. If you've seen Avatar, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the last Airbender. I'm talking about the blue people. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's exactly what this looks like. I feel like that they don't have to make wins on a map is pretty OP. Well, it speeds up your early game because you don't have to make as many wind on your first laboratory, and that is pretty OP. But after that, the energy is actually kind of negligible. It's 7 per... Oh, nice bombing run comes across right here. Air transition from Mikhail manages to hit a bombing run across the enemy's side. Fighters are in position to shoot this down, and eventually those bombers will fall, but oh, E-converters next to the build power is tough. All of a sudden, this base is actually hit pretty hard. Nice little strategic strike right there. Meanwhile, bombers that did come across this way will be shot down here too. Centurion, wow, having a feeding frenzy. What? What are we doing? Oh no. The Centurion has been given the gift of combat. It will eventually fall down, but my goodness. Okay. We are looking like we're going mass Centurion here. It's a really interesting decision. Coming out from the Red Commander. Just going for mass Centurion. I mean, you know, this map is basically all choke points, so... Yeah, you know what? I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I think Centurion do have a lot of value here. Especially in between with the LLTs and whatnot. Obviously, Centurion can be repaired. I mean, LLTs can too, but Centurions are much more efficient to repair. Makes them perfect for this kind of thing. Look at what one Centurion does to completely change the way this engagement goes. Those LLTs would have lost immediately here. Instead, only one grunt manages to squeak through. That's a huge win right there. Definitely worth the trade to put that one Centurion on the field to deny that. Bombers still bombing. You can expand without the need to scale energy. Not quite. Like, you can't really afford it off of just the metal extractors. You need a little more. So you need those wind turbines. You need some, like, at least a little bit. Because it's not just the eco scaling, but it's also the unit production. And all the Legion stuff is pretty energy dense. And because you make so much of them, they are very, very, like, you make fewer Cortex units. So, like, in theory, you would pay the same amount of total energy, but you actually end up paying a little bit less for, like, Cortex, and a little more for Armada, but still not as much as Legion. Yeah, it's, the math gets really muddled. There's a lot. Look at these bombers, though. I kind of love that. Yeah, just a little strike team of bombers heading out, trying to get, you know, whatever extra value that they can out on the field. Popping some metal extractors and whatnot. Fighters trying to rally over here to find these. Oh, yeah. One of them does go down. The other one, oh, might be sneaky beaky. Okay. Wow. Bomber sneaks right on past the fighters, will come in and drop its payload. Hits a bunch of wind turbines right here. Can we retarget on the E-converters? That'd be just nice. That'd be quite fantastic. Nope, not quite. Don't think we were paying attention to that one. Could have gotten some value, but didn't end up happening. Constructors heading out to build geothermals. I like that idea a whole lot. Geothermals are obviously super efficient here. And hey, look at that. Our first T2 transition of the day as we do have those T2 mexes coming up and online. Whole bunch of Banshee gunships came up here for the Red Commander. That's where the metal went here for Mistia. The metal went into T2 here for Kyle. That's why the army also looks a lot smaller. Ooh, Shuriken are kind of a cool play. Yeah, if the Shuriken can paralyze the Centurion here, they totally will be able to. Wow, this engagement actually works out really nicely. Okay. Brilliant little move right there by Kyle. Manages to shut down this entire army for pennies on the dollar. Loads of units going down. The fighters are pulled to kill those shurikens. I have a feeling this is kind of a rage reaction. That's Mistia saying that engagement should not have gone that good for you. That was a steal of value. Kyle in a little bit of trouble here. Blue fighter's trying to clear all this up here. Commander is cloaked though, so we don't know exactly where it's at. Those blue fighters are sweeping in, trying to clear all this out. Those banshees obviously super dangerous. Ooh, we have enough energy production. Oh, D-gun. Oh, D-gun, 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 D-gun. Oh no, a Kyle. Ugh, stop moving. Oh no. Oh, if that commander had just stayed still, he could have got the D-gun on like 10 of those banshees. They were all piled up together there. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Kyle escapes to the water, so at the very least the Banshee snipe is mitigated here. It's still an issue, right? These Banshees are still dangerous. They can go across and kill a bunch of stuff. Where is the anti-air? Cons need to start building anti-air right now. The fighters clearly are insufficient. Or like an AA, but like Manticores are very good nowadays. There's all these options, and it feels like we're not going for any of them, oddly enough. Banshees feel like they're just not dying. They just are incapable of dying. Why are we refusing to go for ground-based anti-air? I don't know exactly, but it does feel like a blunder here. We have all these cons. We could have gone for so much anti-air. Giant run-by over on this side, meanwhile. Welders did come out of a T2 laboratory, and those are quite nice for cleaning up these grunts here. The beamer turret also doing a fantastic job. Yeah, that welder lightning blast does tons of damage against those T1 forces. It'll be more than enough to clean all these up. Yep, there they go. And that's a hold. Brilliant push right through the middle of this map right here. Fiends are also burning everything down. But the Banshees are ripping apart the backline here as well. We never saw an efficient way of cleaning these up. Ugh. Weird. Well, that fighter's a hero right there. 5 kills on that guy's collar before he eventually went down. Not bad. That was one well-patterned fighter pilot. Okay, Grunt's finding more space over here. Platypus. Hey, the OP Platypus coming out here. Somebody mentioned in chat the OP Platypus. I definitely agree. Yeah, if we shut down that, I agree. If we shut down the build power, that's GG as well. Fiends, though. Yeah, I mean, it's a ton of damage, but remember, we already have the geothermals and one. Oh, do we have the geothermals? Ooh. Oh, actually, that's something Misty has overlooked. Yeah, didn't get the geothermals up and running. Okay, that's actually a way bigger hit then. I mean, you need those geothermals for the consistent energy production. It'll be about a minute before this one comes up and running here, and we don't even have the AGO up and running either. So it's actually a giant energy advantage right now for a Kyle. Yeah, about double the energy production. No, sorry, about triple the energy production here of a Kyle. Means we can get these T3 units, or T2 units out to the field a lot quicker. There's that AGO starting up. Those advanced mechs is also quite nice. Misty in a ton of trouble here, surrounded by the grunts and the fiends. Boom goes the red commander. GG is called. Nearly got a Kyle with the Banshee gunship. Very, very close call. That's 2 very close gunship calls we've seen here today. Makes you so hesitant when you go for your gunships, right? Because you're like, oh man, maybe if I just had 2 more gunships, it would have worked. I think it really came down to just having the micro right there. Yeah, I think with really proper micro, that probably would have been doable. But at the end of the day, it's just the way it shook out. Kyle went for that tech transition. It paid off immensely, and did end up taking the victory there. Beautiful. And with that, I do believe we are headed on into the small team lobbies now. We should be seeing some small team lobbies anyway. Vic and Friends co-op versus AI. We've got, yeah, there we go. That looks better. Frecking Caitlyn. Let's drop right into this. This game just started. I think this is, let me see, round 2. So this round 3 is really weird. I'm reading the rule set here, and it says challenge round. Lowest points player challenges an opponent with the same amount of points. If no opponent available in that scoring, move 1 point up. I don't know how they're doing the points, how they're keeping track of all that. But I can tell you right now, doesn't really matter. as long as somebody's keeping track of it, then it doesn't really matter. We'll just keep jumping between the games here, taking a look at whatever's up and running. So what I'm interpreting here is that each. How does this work? Yeah, lowest points player challenges an opponent with the same amount of points. I guess from both of the 2 rounds, like you measure your wins and losses, and they go against each other. I'm not entirely sure. I really am not entirely sure. Oh well. Arar going to be spawning on the southern side here. Caitlyn spawning up on the north. She's going to be going for Cortex here, up between the two 2.9 metal extractors. And on the southern side, it looks like Arar is also going for core. It's going to be our first core versus core of the day here, I think. People who are losing get to challenge another losing player. That sounds about right. I don't know. We're going wind turbine front. Is wind turbines in front of everything OP, or is this a misplay? Oh no, we're just building the lab even further forward. This is like technically a little bit inefficient. This is me nitpicking because we have time for it, but this is technically inefficient because this commander will have to step forward to build all this. Like typically you want to basically put your commander at the center of all this, so you would put your lab like here, and then you would build wind turbines like all around the sides. Right? That's kind of because you see if we want to build that con, yeah, we have to move the commander forward. It's like a second. It's like wasting 1 second, but it's the kind of thing that, you know, everyone's gonna be like whatever. It's gonna be pretty negligible in the long term. But it bugs me every time. I don't know. Whenever my commander has to do that, I know it bugs me a lot. Going to be a couple of grunts first here. We do have the con expanding out. Looks like we're going to be expanding to the left-hand side. I feel like a lot of times when we see a 1v1 on this map, they pretty much both, like, each player kind of chooses one direction to try and fight in. You are... No, sorry, it's happening again. I can't help myself. It's happening. Grunts moving in. Ooh, I thought they were going to pass each other. Nope, looks like we will engage in a little violence. Just a tease of the palette here. Frecking Caitlyn trying to move those grunts in. I feel like I have to say it like, I don't know, so aggressively. Oh no, it's fecking. Gosh, I have to be so careful saying this name. Caitlyn trying to get me banned for sure. But alright. YouTube's much more forgiving. There's even, yeah, the new Legion mechs in the C3BO patch is 90%. I see. I see. That makes more sense. I mean, yeah, because otherwise, yeah, you'd just be at a straight-up disadvantage. Like, no matter what, no matter how you slice it, the advantage is just awful. Okay, so that makes sense. Just say Kate, yeah. Probably, best for all of us. Kate, gonna be playing on the northern side. Probably works out better. Probably less risk of demonetization there. Little grunt battles going on across the field here. That's pretty par for the course for little Cortex skirmishes like this. Cortex infighting. Not uncommon at all. One stray gene parameter and, you know, they devolve into an entirely different category species. Most Cortex fights are over, like, whether to start an array index from 0 or 1. It's kind of, that's where most of this argument stems from. That's what most Cortex fights are over. Most other things are like, you know, Cortex and Armada have their, like, political beliefs, but Cortex mainly just argues over, like, syntax errors and the like. Blue grunts moving into the northern side. Well, they actually might be able to find a con over here. That would be a huge snipe if we could deny all 4 of these mexes by sniping that con. One of those things we haven't seen today, but I would love to see is a little bit of set target firing. So killing this con and then targeting the corpse just to make sure we destroy it so it can't be resurrected. So I feel like that's one of those mechanics that's underrated for sure. Wind speed speeding up here. Caitlyn super far forward right now. That's like extremely aggressively far forward. Ugh, yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous. Like, you only need, I don't know, 5 thugs on the back of all these, grunts in order to start putting on a ton of pressure right now. Does Aurora even know? No. This is the first time Aurora actually realizes that the commander is right here. Yeah. That's gonna be a weird little wake-up call. All of a sudden Aurora is like, oh, okay, well, hello, commander. Caitlyn moving in right here. There's an LLT, though, so you don't want to step too far forward, or else that LLT will melt your commander instantly. We are going to disengage here. Those hero grunts did eventually make their way around, by the way. Oh, go for the con. Oh, no, no, no. We want the con of all things. We also need to spread out a little bit. These grunts are, you can see he's body blocking his friend here. Grunts have kind of a pig face, don't they? Well, this is, I mean, only one grunt. This is basically one grunt aggression, because his buddy was just standing behind him watching. A yes man, if ever there was one. There's the thugs coming up to the field, but for Caitlyn instead. Okay. I mean, when you're ahead on the position, you may as well push the position even further. Rocket bots are out here, though. Okay. Rocket bots change the score here. Obviously, they can blast down those LLTs quite nicely, and Caitlyn is going to be forced offline. Looks like a forward vehicle lab is going to be set up here, so I don't mind that. I think that's probably pretty good, but we do need a little bit of build power to support all that. The commander is going to be insufficient, I would say. The economy is looking fantastic here, though. For Arar, who's gotten most of these mexes up and running. This northern side was denied quite heavily, and this left-hand side was never claimed. Once those come up and running, it's going to be a huge advantage for Kate. For now, though, not the case. Here's those rocket bots firing away here. Kate going for the LLT before the lab. Yeah, I mean, now that the line has fallen, I don't like this lab at all. Suddenly, this is really, really risky, it feels like. Resbot goes down. Rocketbot's trying to connect with that commander here as well. The thugs are dangerous. But at this point, Arar can just go for a thug push. Oh. Should notice here, by the way, that Caitlyn is completely out of energy, too. So no room for D-guns. Super important. Little details like that are so easy to miss, but if you pick up on it, then it means you know that you can go for some sort of like a grunt surround here. You can just pull units, and you don't have to worry about the D-guns. Wind speed will be affecting both of these commanders, though, no doubt. Yeah, there's a resbot. I think you just thug walk it. I think you just go for, I think you just start spamming out thugs. 4 thugs, 1 resbot. We're even going for medium tanks here. Yeah, Caitlyn is dead. If we don't pull back and reinforce this, I think this lab was a mistake. The E-stall right now will be the death of Caitlyn. She doesn't have enough energy to actually keep preparing units, and so it's just going to be a slow attrition battle. Resbot did go down. That's a little bit of a blunder. Not the end of the world, though. We're going to deny the lab with a D-gun. Okay. That hurts, but it is probably the right move here. Aurora losing sight of the win condition of a game of Beyond Horizon, though. The win condition, of course, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is to kill the enemy commander. If you kill the commander, you win the game. And for some reason, we saw the commander walk off to the left. We know all the units are dead on the right, and we aren't going after the commander to win. I mean, I don't know. We got a bunch of grunts moving in on the right-hand side, so that's dangerous. We are going to want to try and deflect this or defend it if possible. Like 2 pounder tanks shuts all that down, but we'd have to have them in position already. Can't do much now. I mean, is this not just an overwhelming advantage for Caitlyn? Oh, she's so badly E-stalled. Yikes. Just couldn't quite get that energy economy underneath her. The footing just wasn't quite there. Yeah, Blue Commander has spent the metal, effectively. And that is really all it takes. The Incisors now helping to clean all this up, too. Yeah, this is looking... These grunts need to do a lot of damage to equalize this. Can we start reclaiming them? Oh, you know what? Killing the build power is not a bad start. Okay. Hey, you know what? There we go. All 4 build turrets go down. That's actually super annoying. That's going to be like 2 minutes before we see all the build power restored. Caitlyn might have been able to just barely buy herself a little bit more time. Just enough time to get some more energy production up and running here. Medium tanks now rolling out of the laboratory in time to engage the medium tanks that were lurking in the midsection here. This is way too slow for my liking. Aurora probably should have been aggressing way quicker here. Like while that E-stall was happening rather than after it's been solved. Yeah, Caitlyn comes out of this totally fine. Now the metal economy is looking nice for Aurora here, who is grabbing up all those mexes around the map. For the most part here, it's going to come down to who has more stuff. And Aurora has significantly more stuff here. If we take a look at the army value, it's more than double that of Kate's here. Still though, again, a handful of well-placed pounders in the right spots can change the tide of this. A lot of incisors and grunt moving on this northern side though. This is Caitlyn posturing. This is Kate puffing out her chest and saying like, oh, I'm a big scary enemy, but realistically, this army is just minuscule. There's just so little that it actually can do. It just can't be in every place at once, and they're just already spread so thin. Love the shuriken idea, though. We do have a couple of those shuriken coming out. I mean, they're a little bit late to the party. If these shuriken had been like a minute earlier, I think they might have worked. They might have saved this over here. They are going to paralyze everything, so at the very least, they're going to mitigate the rest of the damage. Will we see a air transition here? We will indeed. Okay, yeah. Air is sparked up immediately for the blue commander. Medium tanks doing their best in the middle here. A little bit of repair micro. Not bad. Be so careful. That commander will take so much damage without even anyone noticing. There we go. Okay. Shuriken cleaning all this up, and our new Conbot is sent over here almost immediately to rebuild all those mexes. We do have units just casually strolling their way into the backline, though. There we go. Okay, one bomber comes across. E-converters pop. Wind turbine's in trouble here now as the medium tank makes its way forward. Okay. Shuriken are the kings. Oh, yeah, we do gotta kill those units. Oh, we're even using them aggressively here. Okay. It's not the end of the world, but even the tiniest bit of anti-air is going to kill those, and they were a much more powerful defensive tool than they were offensively. And it's not like we can reclaim much of this metal anyways. Yeah, I'm not convinced that was the right play right here. And Caitlyn is playing on such razor-thin margins. We really need to be basically perfect. Giant opening, meanwhile, on the left-hand side right here that just hasn't been aggressed. You peel off like 4 medium tanks, and you just send them around this direction. They're going to kill all this. They don't really care about the LLTs. They could probably break this entire line and kill the entire left-hand side of this entire base. Mex is being rebuilt over here, though. More and more units being put out on the field here. Love the little run-by over on this side. We are eventually going to be able to kill one of those Mexes. Pounder tanks getting huge value. Look at the pounder tanks impulsing all the medium tanks and allowing the blue forces to get a huge trade right there. This corpse field needs to be addressed. We either need to reclaim it or degun it. We're just going mass pounders here. I mean, honestly, mass pounders in the choke is not a bad idea. Yeah, the impulse is pretty dangerous. Pounders do, like, pretty good damage as well. They don't do the most burst damage of anything in the game, but they do decent burst damage. Honestly, I don't mind it at all. Yeah, okay. Caitlyn reclaiming from the front line with the commander. Aurora, likewise. Trying to eat up as many of these tank corpses as possible here. This is where you gotta just put down that bot lab. It's so difficult to do because it's so expensive. But you have to build that bot lab to get the res bots out. Because you think about it like this, right? You put 600 metal into the bot lab. Where is it? There it is. Not even 600. It's 400 metal into the bot lab. Ooh, Aurora in trouble here, actually. Uh-oh. Did Aurora overstay the welcome there? Down to 57% HP. Yeah, Caitlyn's spilling blood in the water. More tanks coming up here. We are thinking about going into T2 here. The build power isn't helping itself. All the red tanks are dead. Going for a D-gun? Okay, not bad. Shuriken's trying to jump this once more. The anti-air coming out from the lashers is just too much, though. Yeah. Anyway, you put down 400 metal worth of the T1 lab. And then you get, 200 metal worth of res bots. And it immediately starts paying dividends. Look at these guys. Reclaiming 50, 75 metal per second. And they're constantly reclaiming right here. Look, we're overflowing metal at this point. The commander can't even spend it all. We need a metal storage. Oh, no. We're wasting hundreds of metal right here reclaiming, and we can't even spend it all. We need a metal storage or a T2 or something. Okay, T2 lab will start up here. It's a good way to dump that metal. Where'd the res bots go? They get sniped? Oh, wow, okay. They must have, because I don't see them here. More of them coming up to the front here, though, to make up that difference pretty quickly. Caitlyn's still planning to go for, or was planning to go for T2, ran out of metal along the way. Didn't have the sustain for it. I mean, at the very least, a couple of vehicle constructors. Twin guards holding out over here. Not bad. Okay. It's a good hold. Yeah. The resbot transition is really making the difference. Oh, we're reclaiming. Or resurrecting, rather. I don't like that. We already have T2 out, but there's not really a reason to start resurrecting here. Reclaiming that all and turning it into T2 units makes a lot more sense. Although then again, if you can use those resurrected units to break this line, win the game, it's well worth it. For sure. Need a little build power here to help sustain the twin guards. Wouldn't mind like one con tower over here. Still though, again, Caitlyn is just barely holding on in this game here today. Trying to find a way out, but there's not a lot of great options. One thing that could work out really nicely is a bombing run. Yeah, if we did go for like a, I mean, bombers in the choke right here would actually not be terrible either. The wide AoE on bombers can be really brutal. Caitlyn needs to spread out these tanks a little bit more here. Yeah, our concave is not as ideal as it should be. The AoE damage, my goodness. It's a bad trade, but it's the best one Caitlyn could have possibly taken. Unfortunately, there's just way too much stuff right here. Yeah, that's a well-broken line. Caitlyn manages to actually hold on for an impressive amount of time, but I think eventually, yeah, GG has to be called. What a brute force strategy right here. We barely saw the T2 tanks rolling out to the field. That might have been what triggered Caitlyn in the end to call GG. But at the end of the day, Aurora manages to take the win here. You can see that eco advantage. There was a giant separation right here between the two economies, but Kate did manage to pull it back really convincingly. Unfortunately, though, wasn't able to capitalize on it, and that's kind of where we see that T2 leap happen right here, and you can see the eco difference was just too large after that, and eventually this is where it ended up at Caitlyn's front door. Alright. That was an excellent day of 1v1s. I guess now it is time to get into the small team games, if I understand correctly. I'm not entirely sure I understand correctly. Round 3, 1v1. Pool to round... Oh, round 3. Oh, I see. Okay. This is the challenge round, as it's called. One more 1v1 round left, then small teams. It's a very funky format. Doesn't follow the normal format that we usually see, but that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's about how fun it is. That's kind of that's what we're here for, right? Oh, that's odd. So we've got a spawn on the right-hand side and the left-hand side of this map here today. That's a little bit strange. Copper Hill. Typically, I feel like we would normally see a spawn. Isn't it normally in the bottom left and the top right? I'm not entirely sure. It's like a miniaturized version of that other map that has like 2 of these and twice as long. Anyway, Mistia, holding the high ground right here, has managed to shut down a giant engagement over on this side as well. Loads of dead grunts in red and blue. Thugs pushing forward. Varzak trying to hold on right here, but this is, yeah, fighting uphill into grunts is an uncomfy situation. Resbot is out and available. Mex is unclaimed over here. That's a sloppy mistake. That's shouldn't be overlooked. That's an extra 6 metal per second. It's like, what, it's an extra grunt every 15 seconds or something like that? Every 10 seconds, really? Is there some sort of ranking board for this somewhere? You know, I'd love to know that myself. I really, really would love to know that myself. I imagined at some point there was. I don't know. I guess I probably just don't have access to it. Somehow, some way, these players, I think it was all predetermined based on the open skill you started or signed up for the tournament in. It's basically, they just kind of matched everybody up some kind of way, and they put the whole list out in their Discord. So that's what I've got over on my other screen here. It's, like I said, it's a very odd format. Sometimes you gotta mix it up, though, to find something new that works even better. I just like the idea that we're going from we're going from 1v1s into small team games into large team games. Like, that's appealing to me, right? Because I like the variety a lot. Grunts have pushed forward right here. This would have been a reason I could have seen to resurrect. Rebuild the army over on this left-hand side, away from all the production structures. Not the end of the world. Instead, these res bots are in a little bit of trouble. Varzak gonna move in. Nicely done for Varzak right there. Cleans all that up and saves the res bots. And now this northern side is actually looking, this northwestern side is looking a little bit claimable. This is looking winnable here. Mistia taking a much better commanding position across this map, though. Ugh, I need some coffee. I've got my water here. They say water wakes you up better than coffee. It doesn't give you the, it doesn't do the same crashing effect. I don't know that I believe it. But I hope it's true. I sure hope it's true. Hello, Brightwork. Hello, pretty girl swag. The Call of Duty picture. I haven't seen the good old-fashioned Call of Duty Guns Akimbo in a hot minute. What was that? Was that the first Black Ops that picture's from? Or was it Modern? No, it wasn't Modern War, was it? Yeah, it was like the first Black Ops, huh? Back in the good old days. God, I sound ancient saying that. Is it too old of a take to say that I liked World of War? Or World of War? Was it Call of Duty? I don't even remember anymore. Call of Duty was it World at War or World of War? I think I'm getting World of Warcraft mixed up with Call of Duty World at War. Either way. Not like it matters here. Love the repair micro, by the way. We are repairing these thugs back up to full HP using those res bots quite nicely here. Still, though, the advantage of sitting up on top of the hill with the thugs is just gigantic. Here come the bombers across the field. Yeah, this is GG. Bombers across the field managed to make it into the base. Anti-air units start up right now, but the bombs have already dropped. Wind turbines are starting to fall. Mexes will be next after the wind turbines go. Huge E-stall on the way right here for the Red Commander. Yep. The last of those wind turbines go down, and all of a sudden there's literally nothing the Red Commander can do. We don't even have the energy for a D-gun. Oh no. We're losing to an LLT. 23% HP on the Commander because he couldn't D-gun it. Oh no. Yeah, the base is in shambles here. This game has been won. A decisive play right there from Mistia Lorelli. Got away with the bomber transition quite nicely. Nicely done. Nicely done. GG. Well, that was a quick one. I mean, I know we dropped in about halfway through it, but that was a pretty quick one. Are there any others that we are waiting on? I don't think so. I think that might be the end of round 3, meaning we go into round 4. Or do we still have round 3? Was that the end of round 2? No, round 2 was Arar was versus Fortress Side DK. All right. That was the end of round 2. Okay, so we're headed into round 3, this like mystery round, the the shake it up round. I'm quoting directly from the layout here. Round 3 says challenge round. Lowest points player challenges an opponent with the same amount of points. No opponent available on that scoring. Move up 1 point. C3BO just reached out and clarified. Said, so we are updating that Google Docs link. When people finish the remaining game, we're going to be challenging opponents with the same scoring as per round 3 instructions over voice chat that will reflect that into the live doc to discuss it. Okay. So they're building a system or something. Is this an APM game? No, I don't think so. Round 3. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Are these guys fighting for round 3? I don't understand. My brain is too small. Oh, they have they've given me a Google Doc. So it looks like your points is literally just your wins. It's not like one of those point systems where it's like based on how you performed and there's like a panel of judges and you get like scored and you get like, you know, silver, gold, copper, or whatever, like it's or bronze. It looks like it's more like it looks like it's literally you just win. Okay. Somebody is I don't know. They're figuring it out. Round 3 fight. I don't know if this is it or if something else is it. Well, we may as well hop into this game, right? 18 minutes on Crystallized Plains is bizarre. I don't know what you get up to at 18 minutes on Crystallized Plains. This is a map that usually goes like 12 minutes or less. This is not a late game map typically. Phospholite isn't playing in the tournament. Okay, so this is just a random game. This is just some random Joe Schmo that we found playing on the ladder that's going to get casted inside this tournament. Fantastic. Well, congratulations, Phospholite, whether you wanted it or not. Oh, okay. Well, your victory was rapid-fire live-streamed to the entire universe. Congratulations. You're so welcome. That was a 21-minute long game on Crystallized Plains. My goodness. Well, I see a lot of people moving a lot of numbers around on this dock, so I gotta imagine something great is happening here. Are they starting their round 3? This might be their round 3 they're starting right now. Nito versus Maratus. I don't think this is APM at all. This is the intermission game. Feel free to enjoy. This is just straight up. This is the the intermission while we wait for the contest matches to be sorted out. The challenge matches. Maratus spawning on the southern side here is Armada going to be going for that good old-fashioned Mex wind. Oh, okay, changing it up on me. Little bit of a switcheroo here as we go for solar here. Yeah, I mean, you know what? That's a great read. Wind speed is horrible right now, so quick thinking. Maratus will shift into some of that solar panel energy here instead of going for that terrible wind energy. And right into bots. Spawning on the northern side here also is Armada, but doubling down on the wind speed. It's going to be Nito. Magneto. No, just Nito. The Red Armada Commander spawning on the northern side. So this is a, Crystallized Plains is a pretty fun one because it's got these 2.3 metal extractors and they're usually, like, they're all pretty close to each other. So it's basically 4.6 expansion for all of these, which means that it's a giant, like, there's actually a lot of metal to be had on this map, but it's so tiny. The map is super, super tiny. So once you get your, like, 4, 8, 12, 16, 25-ish, almost 30 metal on your side of the map, you're neighbors with your enemy immediately. There's no, like, you get up to your full economy immediately, and then you're right at your opponent's throat. It also means that run-bys are super aggressive on this map, and the Resbots tend to suffer for it, which is cool. Resbots eating up those Duracell crystals in order to counteract any of the negative side effects of spending a bunch of energy. The little tick that could. Joined by its little brother. And running around all over the place. Yeah, we've got another tick. Just to keep track of all of them. Cool. Doubled back right there and did manage to get the kill. Ticks are so pesky. At this point, I think what you do is you just take your pawns and you just spread them out and put them everywhere. You just put them all over the place and you just go into tick spam. It's most APM efficient. Haha, I get it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be here all evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is it working to stun the calm with shurikens? No, you can't paralyze commanders. Not technically, like, so you can technically paralyze commanders, but it doesn't work. Like, they don't actually get paralyzed. It's a little bit odd, but yeah, that's it. Basically, you can't. I believe that changed like a long time ago. I think you used to be able to paralyze commanders, and I think it like killed them or something. It was super difficult to do, but you could do it with like the what was it called? The bombers? Self-D on the mechs? Oh, no self-D on the mechs. Yikes. Could have killed all those ticks right there with a little self-D micro. Not the end of the world. Actually, it is the end of the world. That sucks. Yeah, losing that con right there, that was meant to expand all across this entire right-hand side. None of that will happen now. Ooh, ooh. Trying to sneak the ticks in here, being so pesky. I love that, though. Pawn's also looking for some value. It was like, yeah, I want to say it was like, you could EMP commanders, and I think it would like make them explode or something. It was really weird. I don't know, that was back when like commanders could also D-gun each other. That was a weird one. That was one of those things that like once it changed, everyone was like, yeah, this should have been that way from the start, but it wasn't. Oh, pawns. Oh no. Oh no. Why are we running? Oh no, why are we running into the LLT? Yes. Oh, they could have come right here and killed the 5.0. Oh, that sucks. That could have been so much value right there. Oh, nice tick snipe right here. Does manage to kill the res bot that was reclaiming those crystals. It's very sloppy. It's very sloppy. I know these aren't our tournament competitors, so I really shouldn't be judging them as harshly as I am. But it hurts. It hurts to see. Nito in a little bit of trouble here. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a hard time. We are actually completely surrounded by pawns at the moment. There's energy for a D-gun, but we gotta pay attention to that commander. Slightly better micro. I think that might have been a little bit more dangerous here. You gotta get a basically perfect surround around the commander. Not the end of the world, though. Nito makes it out with 37% HP. It's enough to limp back to the base after hurting for a little while. Oh, another unguarded mechs. Yeah, we gotta just start putting pawns all over the place. Just leave them lingering around. Usually what I'll do is I'll have all my pawns on auto groups, and then I'll just put a bunch of them, like, I'll draw a big line or whatever, then hit, what would be, control and then tilde. It'll unbind them from the auto group, the ones that you have selected currently. That way you don't keep accidentally pulling them all over the place. You can always rebind them. The Alt 1, or Alt whatever, to put them back in the auto group. It's one of those modern inventions, the auto group, that is just impossible to play an RTS game without. Like, I went and played some StarCraft recently, and it was so frustrating not to have my units automatically go into my control groups. I was like, why doesn't this work the way that I want it to work? The luxuries of a modern RTS, aka Beyond All Reason, versus a legacy RTS, aka StarCraft. Oh, next round has started. Okay, we're going to abandon this match here. Obviously, this is not the tournament, so we're not going to look at that. Oh, there we are. Okay, Zeberg versus Heavy Water. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't take a look at their game here. Oh, they've started up 5 minutes ago. Whoops. Okay, we're a little bit late. Hehe. Bar makes me feel spoiled trying to play the Supreme Commander campaign. Yeah, unit limit is driving me crazy. Oh, yeah, that's a thing, too. Yeah, like old StarCraft 1. You go back at old StarCraft 1 and you can only select up to, like, 16 units or something like that. It's like, oh, why? Why is this a thing? Like, I can do 1,000 units and Beyond All Reason. Wow, what a map for a 1v1 here, too. Okay. Greenhaven, Bar, version 1.2. Up to 3v3 map with many green hills by Nikuxis. One of the most famous Beyond All Reason mappers in the community. Nikuxis is responsible for a bunch of popular maps. I'm not going to start naming them because I feel like I'm going to get them wrong and then offend other people. But take my word for it, Nikuxis is legendary. We've got spawning on the top left-hand side here. It's going to be none other than APM Zeberg. Shout out to the gentleman who actually invited me to come cast this tournament, so that's very cool. Oh, nice. We've got our match list. spawning on the southern side, I guess south eastern side here. It's kind of all over the place. We have the northwestern side and the south middle side, the eastern side, I guess. It's gonna be heavy water here at 46 open skill. My goodness, APM guys really enjoying their 1v1s. Apparently, building a giant roster of 1v1 prowess. Little bit of a yin-yang situation going on, though. Giant army of goblins moving on the northern side. Obviously, the goblins aren't going to do much against the LLTs, but where they squeak through the cracks, they're going to be able to hit pretty hard. Oh, guess not. On the southern side, pawns running in. Let's take a look at this. These are 2.3, so these should be 2.1. Okay. So it's significantly reduced metal reduction. That's a double negative. In other words, the metal reduction is not quite as harsh. Normally it's a 30% reduction. Instead, with this mod, it is only 10%. I guess that balances out with the energy. My biggest thing is that the energy for the Legion metal extractors is not dependent on the amount of metal that you're losing. So for instance, on like a 1.6 metal extractor, you're gonna lose, like, what would that be? Like 0.2 metal or something like that, so it'd be like a 1.4. Whereas on like a 10 metal, you're gonna be losing a whole metal per second. So you're losing a lot more metal, but you're still gonna only get 7 metal per or 7 energy per second, regardless of the metal extractor speed. Does that make sense? It just feels weird because the metal extractors spin a lot faster when you have higher metal value. It feels like they should generate more energy that way too. I'm just saying. Those light heat ray towers firing away here, the Pharaohs. Doing a great job. Nice aggression all over the place here, though. Nice little setup on the northern side. Heavy Water setting up a ton of LLTs, trying to cordon off this section of the map using this big hill as kind of a marker. Working around this hill to make sure that there's a nice safe area up on this northern side. I actually wouldn't even mind seeing like a proxy base set up over here. We know that the Red Commander is cordoned off to this corner of the map over here. It would be really nice to see some sort of like a... yeah, like a proxy to move a bunch of vehicles in or something like that. Wind speed, kind of bad on this map. We're slowly scaling up the build power here. We got a little bit of wind, a little bit of solar. A diverse energy economy, cool to see. 1v1 the best game mode. Ultimate test of skill, for sure. I wouldn't contest that. I would say definitely your Beyond All Reason skill is definitely probably most accurately represented in 1v1. However, all that is to say, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, like, a lot of Bar's identity is these team game modes, right? So is it really fair to say that only 1v1 is a true representation of your skill? Teamwork is a skill too. Communication is a skill too. But yeah, absolutely. Like your fundamentals, your game fundamentals, 1v1 is going to shine them through the best. Anywho, this is one of the things I love about Legion is that you can be so swarmy. You can send little hit squads of goblins and grunts, all sorts of stuff all over the place. Goblins and Satyr, I mean. Resurrected Pawns heading across over here. Actually managed to find a tiny little gap between the LLTs, taking advantage of it. Brilliantly done here, and gonna squeak on through into what the Red Commander must have assumed would be the main base down here. Yeah, I think we I think we were thinking that there would probably be like a main facility over here, but it's actually just a couple of solar panels. This isn't really, there's not really much of anything over at this point. Next we'll go down, not bad. Con, can we snipe the con? Ooh, it's close. Not quite going to be able to. Oh, maybe. Well, if the con throws itself on the stakes. Just maybe. Yeah, you know what? I think XTA Replay said it best. Your success in life is represented in your 1v1 rating at the bar. Yeah, you know, you're 100% right. The quality of your life is determined by how good you are at 1v1 Beyond a Reason. That's the determinant for success in life, is is your little number on the side of your name in 1v1. We need some target fire micro here. It's so APM intensive to do. But it helps the goblins a lot. Another thing I wouldn't mind seeing here is just a handful of Satyr mixed in. Satyr actually costs less than the goblins do, in energy anyways. They cost a little bit more metal, a little more than double the metal, but cost a little bit less energy, which is hilarious. Heavy water is super exposed here, though. Are these LHGs modified? I feel like they are, aren't they? They're firing a little bit faster than normal. They're a little bit more like a laser turret. Interestingly. There's those gunships. 8 gunships up and running. We have the ground forces here to reveal the commander too, so no cloak available. 25%, and what a perfectly executed commander snipe. Brilliantly done right there by Zeberg, keeping an eye open for the available tools, getting away with the mosquitoes, and managing to jump on top of Heavy Water's commander. Brilliantly done. We'll spare no time jumping into the next game because the next round has already begun. But what a beautiful little match right there. Okay. We've got Green Fox versus Fortress Side DK. Let's see it. Let's take some questions from the chat. Why are Karkinos not used? Yeah, they're just bad. They're just a bad unit. They're really situational. Karkinos are kind of a... Karkinos sit in a really weird spot because they're too slow to be used as like an assault unit. You kind of use them as like a mobile frontline. The way that I would use Karkinos is you basically use them like a mobile static defense. You kind of put them somewhere where you want to be like... You want to posture, but you don't necessarily need like you don't want to defend it forever. You just want to have like control over it for a little while. So like for instance, Karkinos are really nice for controlling wreck fields. That's one example that I would give. But again, like you want to move those around so much, and Karkinos don't move very quickly, so you kind of have to be really careful about it. The other thing is Karkinos don't do very much damage unless they're right on top of another unit. So there's very few cases where that actually works. They're basically defense. Because the opponent has to be pushing into them for them to be within range for their shotgun to actually have full effect. So they don't really work very well, like, conceptually. they're very difficult to use. And then, yeah, on top of that, they're super stupid expensive, so they're just kind of bad. They're good in, like, their own very limited respect. But I would say as like a general unit, as a unit to spam out of a lab to try and win a game with, I wouldn't go with Karkinos. Much better to have 100 Satyr. As a semi-pro Dota 2 player in top 5% bar, is the game that you are not going to have fun if you are not learning and constantly improving. This game is the ultimate competitive experience, especially 1v1. I'll grant you that this game is the ultimate competitive experience. I do genuinely believe that Beyond a Reason is unlike basically any other RTS out there on the market. Not that Beyond a Reason is on the market, per se. It's a free game after all, everyone. If you're watching this here today, welcome to the best free game you've ever experienced. I've tried to... I don't try to convince people to play Beyond a Reason too hard because I feel like oftentimes selling somebody on a game like that is kind of counterproductive. Instead, just showing them cool shit in the game is usually a lot better. But in the past, I've definitely had people tell me that they thought Beyond a Reason was some sort of a scam or like a shell company or something because they couldn't believe that a game this high quality was free. they like, and fair enough, right? Like I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that because like it's been so long. But yeah, they like I've been told by multiple different people on multiple occasions they couldn't believe that Beyond Our Reason was real, not some sort of like weird, you know, prank or hoax or something, just because it was free. And I was like, you know what? You're so right. There's very few things in life that are as good as Beyond Our Reason for as little money as Beyond Our Reason. What blew up over here? I guess it was just the LLT. Yeah, okay. Not the end of the world. Not at all. Aggravator here firing away into the distance, doing a bunch of damage. I'm going to turn into a little bit of a rocket bot battle. Always exciting. Watching rocket bots lob projectiles across the map for 30 minutes. It's my least favorite era was the rocket bot spam. Not that the missile truck spam is much better. Well, the rocket bot spam was just the slowest, most tedious thing. Oh, can we get behind these units and do the flanking damage thing? That'd be great. There we go. Now we're flashing those down with style. All those tanks go down right there. Flanking damage is so powerful, so super potent. Fortress side DK needs to be a little careful. That commander's pretty exposed out there, and there's a lot of reinforcements coming out. This is a great push over here. I love that we're trading really efficiently, but how, like, is it worth? Yeah, I don't think so. I think we just push over here, right? I mean, this is where the commander's at. This is where the units are at. I don't know why we walk those rocket bots forward like that. We see the commander here, right? This is the win condition for the game. So easy to put the blinders on and forget about that. But yeah, this is you could win the game right now with a well-timed push. 10 grunts or so, and then a bunch of medium tanks behind all that. I mean, this is looking really nice. Can we target the commander, please? Oh, the D-guns are huge. The D-guns are quite huge still, though. Boom goes the command. Yeah, I don't know what the commander was doing that far forward. Yikes. Okay. Well, Fortress side DK knocked out here by Green Fox. Easy peasy style. Brutes are absolutely pretty bad at comm killing. Nobody's contesting you on that one, for sure. Did we already watch this exact matchup? I feel like we might have. Anyway. Yeah, Bar's got... There's a comment about Bar being super dynamic. Bar has like a frustrating level of depth. You start by learning how many units there are, and that kind of blows you away, and then after a little while you realize like that's only the start. Like after so long, it becomes a matter of like, okay, well this unit counters this unit. That's like step 2 is trying to figure out what units counter what units. Step 3 is when you realize that there are no unit counters. This is not a game of unit counters. It's actually a game of composition counters, which is similar but not quite the same. What it means is that, yeah, even though like technically a grunt counters a pawn beats a grunt. Like, I would rather have a pawn than a grunt, even though the grunt is better than the pawn. There's some beyond all reason math for you. You've heard of girl math. You've heard of boy math. Get ready for beyond all reason math. Beyond all reason math is wanting an army of 5 pawns instead of an army of 7 grunts. No, it really a lot of the depth of beyond all reason comes also from intentional design. Like it's easy to write that off as like a coincidence of just the way that the units worked out, but that is all obviously like well intentioned by the developers, which is a testament to a lot of love and skill that went into making everything. A solid, deep understanding of fun game mechanics. Oh yeah, and it's great for if you're like low APM. If you're a low APM gamer. That's one of the other wonderful things about bar is that I always joke about this, but like if we take a look here, you can see the APMs here is 35 for Flying Duck. I mean, obviously there's not much going on right now, but 25 here for Varzak. In StarCraft, we would already be up to like 300 APM. The pros easily will hit 300 APM, and that's before the battle has even started. They'll get up to 600 after the battles have started. They're like microing troops around and everything. Yeah, it's hard to monetize RTS games. Man, I've been rambling on long enough. How about the game in front of us, eh? Have I even introduced our players here? Spawning on the northern side is Varzak. Gonna be playing as a Cortex commander in red. Gonna be going for a commander expand, which is the safer of the two options. Either keep the commander at home and expanding with cons, or expanding with the commander and keeping the constructors at home. You have slightly less build power and you're a little bit exposed, but as long as you keep enough units around to defend, everything ends up working out all right. And I think that is going to be the case here for Varzak. We are a little bit shy on the energy production, but it's not the end of the world here. Low E production here as well for Flying Duck. Solar panel coming up, and we do have those cons building some wind turbines, and no build power here either for the blue commander, oddly enough. Handful of Alaris making their way across here. They will be shot down by the grunts, though. Alaris are so adorable. Look at their little wheels. Oh, this one's damaged. Those wheels are all off center. Look at their little wheels. Those wheels just keep on turning. What adorable little guys. Yep. I love the Legion vehicle design. In fact, I just love Legion design in general. Legion is aesthetically my favorite group in the game. Oh, do you guys remember the bar? I believe it was the Alpha League Pro Finals, I want to say, or it might have been the Bar Pro League. There was a really weird play that one of the players did on this map where they basically snuck out a super early mine layer. They were spawning on this position. They snuck out a super early mine layer and went and put a bunch of heavy mine. It was like a heavy mine and a medium mine, and they put it down over here on the ledge because apparently you can only build this metal extractor from a really specific spot with your commander. Like you have to build the mechs right here, and then it means your commander has to walk somewhere right over here. And so they put like a heavy mine and a medium mine over here, and I guess the idea was to like detonate it when the commander stepped on it. But then the commander went over there and they never detonated the mines, and so everyone was like wondering what on earth that strategy was. Like if that actually works, if you can kill a commander with just 2 mines like that. It was really bizarre. I never got a conclusive, a settlement to that either. It was the weirdest thing. What's the keybind for the camera to follow? I think by default it's Y. I reset mine. I set mine to T, because that made more sense. I think by default T is for targeting, though. Just this one. Y. Good. Try Y. If Y doesn't work, then it's T. One of the two. Grunts maneuvering their way across. Oh, I don't like that. That's a weird camera movement glitch. It should let me snap away from following troops like that, but it tries to keep me locked on a little too aggressively. It is nice though, because I can rotate the camera without having to worry about it. This is an excellent little grunt run by, though. We do see him managing to blast down a whole bunch of this. Cool. HLT manages to hold on here. We've also got some of these Helios skirmisher tanks rolling out of the lab now. We've stepped up our game from the humble Alaris. This is the kind of situation where you need those overcharge mexes, though. I mean, I guess with the 90... yeah, no, because your vehicles are just going to be so much worse. so much fewer. Where you're gonna have fewer vehicles. There we go. My goodness. Struggling with the language I speak. It is the APM clan, yeah. This is for maybe anybody that's joining us recently here. This is the APM Internal tournament. They I guess host a little. I don't even know what kind of like what the title of this tournament would be, but it's basically an internal tournament that they run for all their APM members, where they can come out and they can play against each other, have a good old 1v1 day, practice and play against everybody, see who's the very best and brightest of the APM clan, and of course, you know, everybody gets a little bit better for it. They invited me to come cast because I don't know why. I guess they just wanted somebody to do it. They did have somebody dropped out basically, so they invited me to come cast, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. It is super early in the morning for me, so I understand why maybe there was some hesitancy there, and I appreciate that consideration. But yeah, no, I was thrilled to come out and have a look because we've seen already some groundbreaking innovation. Earlier today, we watched somebody park a bunch of tanks against a cliffside like this and then put a pounder behind them and shoot at the ground near the tanks to impulse them over the edge so they would fall down into the lower area and they could go and attack. It was far and away one of the craziest tech I've ever seen in this game. And it came from the most random game of all. I mean, there you go. What might be the exploits that come into effect for esports viability? Well, there was one of them. You're talking about exploits, you mean like weird little like map knowledge or whatever, right? It actually looks like all heat rays are a little faster. Oh, interesting. I'm only noticing this now. I didn't have time to like comb through the changes, but it looks like there's across the board, it looks like heat rays are firing a lot faster. I don't know if that's fair. Heat rays are kind of balanced by the fact that they miss a lot of their damage. So either the damage on these was reduced, or these are going to be way stronger than they should be. And it looks like it's the latter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, these are flashing down medium tanks so quickly. Wow. These are absolutely imba. The Helios looking extremely strong right now. I mean, obviously that was a ton of Helios against just a handful of medium tanks, but normally the way that works is if the medium tanks are kiting, then the Helios will miss about 50% of their heat ray beam and therefore about half of their damage. That has been changed, and now it does appear like the Helios is basically a walking HLT. Like, this thing is nuts. Oh, man. This is GG. This is a GG push. Yeah, Varzak calls it. That army of Helios is going to be literally unstoppable. We have mosquitoes in the air, but they're not even going to be needed. Huh. Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting. Look at that flying deck with a huge eco lead as well. Nicely done. This is how Legion's meant to be played. You're meant to be super aggressive and try and get that early lead and try and scale that out into the late game. Hey, thanks for the $10, Kyle Wolf. Coffee for Brightworks. Thanks for getting up early to cast for us. Yeah, you're very welcome. I appreciate it. That's exactly where that $10 will be going later. I've got my water here. I didn't have a chance to brew anything. In all honesty, I'm more of a tea guy, actually. No British, but I'm definitely more of a tea person. It affects me better. Oh, wait, not replays. That's somewhere we're looking for. Here we are. Are there any other going down? Looks like Mirrored and Meow Cat Meow might be playing. I guess, I'm not sure exactly what these guys are doing. Maybe they started their match late or something, but anyways. What am I complaining for? Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tom Sage 8788 for answering. Yeah, that's you might have noticed, I'll answer this one out loud in case anybody else is curious. The big list of tweaks, random tweaks on the map, that's the C3BO balance patch. It's what modified a bunch of this stuff. Basically, they have, like, I don't know. It's across the board. There's a ton of different changes that were made all over the place. Basically, the most important stuff, though, I don't know. One of the biggest ones, I think, is probably to the Legion. Changing the Legion up so that they don't have that overcharge mixed. speck of hair on my microphone. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. I tried to turn it off, but it turned back on when I tapped it. Anyway. Wow. Some seasoned banter here. Very nice. Spawning on the southern side, it's mirrored here. Going to be playing as Armada. Playing as a blue Armada commanders on the northern side. Going to be Legion. Meow Cat map playing some of those Legion vehicles. Now, we've seen already today that the Helios is downright disturbingly good. Curious to see if that's going to carry on here today. I don't know if it's hard to, it's hard to take that out of context and see if maybe it was just the fact that there was so many of those Helios, like there was an overwhelming number of them. Maybe that's all it was. But they did seem to be super, super powerful. Switch to tea for a while now that I'm in 30s and sensitive in the tum-tum. Yeah. Yeah, coffee is brutal. It'll tear you up. It's I mean, did I don't know, anybody read about that thing for a while? I think it was, I want to say it was Starbucks had a drink. I can't remember if it was just like a fad drink or if it was like something from Starbucks, but it was like olive oil coffee, which are both laxatives. It was horrible. That's just a horrible, horrible idea. Anybody who doesn't see what the issue with that immediately, like, I don't even know what to say. Pretty funny. The map we're currently watching, Feast of Hades 1.0.1. Super wide open map. Lots and lots of room right here for either of these commanders to go for big wide open plays. For a bot commander, it's a little bit scary, especially now that we've seen that we're going up against vehicles here. Those vehicles have the speed advantage, they have the HP advantage, they have the range, the damage advantage, they have the cost disadvantage, and that's literally the only thing. A couple of wheelies making their way across. Can I just take a second to appreciate my favorite unit in the game? The wheelie. Oh, nice self-D micro. Gets one of the wheelies. Doesn't manage to get the other two. Look at that guy's wheel. Oh, jeez. That guy's wheel is a triangle. God, they're so adorable, though. 2 wheels, 1 gun, and a whole lot of love. I love their little ramming bumper on the front, too, just to make sure. Like, in case they bump into anything... They look like, you know what they look like? They look like football helmets. Like NFL football helmets. But instead of heads, they've got wheels. Oh, that guy's turrets even, or that guy's wheels are even worse. Oh no, this guy's wheels are ovals, I guess. He's got egg-shaped wheels. Oh, that's brutal. Rolling, 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 rolling. Keep it rolling, 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 rolling. I think these have got to be just the best unit in the game. Like, but just by design, have got to be the... Oh, have got to be the best one in the game. Love the wheelies so much. And we're way investing into them. Like, this is a lot of wheelies. Normally we don't see this many. Typically, you kind of stop after the first handful. They're not very good. They're awesome, but they're not very good. Going crazy into the energy infrastructure right now. Just mass producing wind turbines all over the place here. Build power helping out a ton. And it is nice. I mean, while the wind speed is high, going for some of those wind turbines so that you can afford all your unit production later on without having to worry about scaling. Basically, the way it works in Beyond Horizon is, I've pointed this out before, and it's kind of an undying truth of RTS games, is that the strategies that kind of ride the line between aggressive and greedy don't tend to work out so well. Like, they're not the most competitively viable ones, because they can be countered in a bunch of different ways. Likewise, or in the opposite direction, the strategies that tend to work the best are the ones that tend to have basically the most aggressive form of whatever they're going for. So, like, the most aggressive eco cheeses, the most aggressive aggression, like, you know, sending units across, going for proxy cheeses, that sort of a thing. And this is just a true monochrome of all RTS games just across the board, but it is interesting because it means that, like, basically, in Beyond a Reason, technically speaking, the most optimal way to do it is to fully invest into your economy as much as possible and then go into unit production, like, as quick as you can. And just and produce units until you can't anymore, and then go into eco production, and then go into unit production. Like, basically, you want to switch between the two. You want to go full force into either one of them, and then switch between them, rather than, you know, do both at the same time. And typically speaking, that's going to work out the best. I feel like the Helios might be speed nerfed, actually. They don't look like they're moving super fast. Huh. What's your scouting unit? It's a tire with a pistol strapped to it. Yep. That's Legion Engineering for you right there. Legion Engineering in a nutshell. Literally duct tape and screws. And that's for the fancy units get screws. Nice snipe right there, though. Big trail of destruction here as the pawns manage to take out the constructor on the northern side. That's huge. If we can kill this constructor up here as well, that's going to be wonderful. And yeah, we are moving in that direction. Nice plays right here coming out from Mirrored. Wonderful stuff. Definitely what I'd expect from, like, a seasoned vet like Mirrored is. Having the game sense to repurpose these units into a little attacking force over here. Are we going to catch that Khan? Ooh, we should. Yep, there we go. Okay, Khan will be caught here. Fleeing back to the safety of the LHTs. I think there's more than enough pawns here to kill this, though. Yep, it will not work. Cons. Immediately eating their brother, and we're going to keep the pawns around here to keep these together. Static pounder, you little shit. It's the Dragon's Jaw. The Dragon's Jaw pop-up turret, and it is super nice. Has tons of AoE, but also has huge impulse, which is really cool. It means that it stuns units when it shoots them. The reason why that's so powerful, specifically for Legion, is because their heat ray beams, although not in this mod as much, but normally their heat ray beams are super inaccurate to units that are moving. But if you keep a unit still, it's going to take way more damage. Yeah, Meow Cat now realizes actually is in a ton of trouble. Oh, here's some value. You see just how much damage these LHTs actually do. They do a lot more damage. The idea being they do more damage, but they're also they don't fire as quickly, and their beam is supposed to slide off of targets, so they don't actually end up doing as much damage as it seems like they should. Oh, nice Deegan right there. Cutting down the Helios sent across the field. We are actually making use of the Twilights, though. That's cool to see. Now we've run into one of the Twilights here, so we should know that there's another one out on the field. The spider senses here for Meow Cat Meow should be tingling. Something isn't quite right. But I don't think Meow has really detected this quite yet, or at the very least figured out what they're smelling. Wow. GG is called. Okay. That feels a little bit preemptive. The economy was not really that far in the favor of the Red Commander. A little bit more map presence, but, huh. That was a super early GG from Mirrored. Okay. I'm a little confused. I don't know what Mirrored saw there that kind of prompted the GG. Team lobbies are going up. Oh, I see. The time has come. Yep, looks like we are getting the teams together. For round 4. Round 4 will be a... Hold on, sorry, I'm finding it. There it is, round 4. Small teams round. Lobby auto balance. So pool 1 is, let's see, Rexel flying down. Okay, yeah, so this is just a bunch of players. think everybody's just settling in for their games right now. Yep, we're getting ready for the small team games. The time has come. I gotta say, I love that we have folks coming together and starting to organize some tournaments on their own, finding their teams. Oh, we've got people pooling into the chat here now. One v one games end too quickly, it feels like, but small team games like 2v2, 3v3 end up being a lot more easy to consume than 8v8. More diverse than 1v1 though. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm right there with you. I feel like that's one of the biggest issues with 1v1 is like you never get to see T2. Like hardly ever. And I think I can count the amount of times I've ever seen T3 in like one hand. It's unfortunate that 1v1 never really gets to see the distance like that. It's just too overwhelming in most cases. Oh, Tal'Darim. That's a funny one, or funny 3v3. Guess not. Anywho. Oh, howdy, Dragon Ken. Yeah, this one's off the books. Unregistered Brightworks stream. But yeah, I agree. I think small teams is definitely small teams. I feel like is the best representation of Beyond All Reason, like as a whole. If I had to choose one thing to show, you know, the public, if I got to do a press conference to show the world Beyond All Reason, I think I would probably pick like a 2v, probably like a 3 or 4v4 game. 3v3 or 4v4 feels like kind of the perfect way. You kind of have enough flexibility. Like the nice thing about 4v4 is you can kind of play like 3 separate 1v1s, three lines on most maps, and then a backliner playing like air or something. I guess the reason why 4v4 is so appealing is because there's 4 tech paths. So you can go land, you can go bots, boats, land, and air. Bots, boats, vehicles, and air, I guess, are the 4 tech paths. Long ago, the 4 tech paths lived in harmony. Then, the bot nation attacked. Cut to like Cortex grunts streaming across the map. But no, I feel like that's why 4v4 works really well, but 3v3 is pretty nice too. 3v3 is cool because it lends a little bit of flexibility, right? All those players end up being like basically one of the players has to play a flex position. They have to be kind of in 2 roles at the same time, and that's really cool because it is, I don't know, just interesting. It's really interesting to watch. Players that can do it really well are impressive. 1v1 kind of impressive for the same reason, though, I guess. I don't mind 8v8, but I hate glitters and kind of supreme. Yeah, why do you think I hesitate to show those on my channel so often? That's I hardly ever, like, I try to avoid casting those matches pretty hard because, man, everyone, like, that's just all anybody plays, and I want to at least remind people that there's hope. There's other matches out there. There's better, you can do better for yourself than playing Supreme Isthmus. I don't know. Supreme Isthmus doesn't bother me nearly as badly as All That Glitters. All That Glitters is really, really boring. I don't like that map at all. Just the way that it is just a big, flat, open plain, and the win condition is always that somebody breaks the canyon lane. And so it's just this like horrible rat race of like, okay, which team can break the canyon lane and then go sweep out the back end first. and then it's like, well, okay, now nobody wants to play the canyon lane because it means they're gonna lose. Everybody only wants to play the side that wins against the canyon lane. And then if you don't win against the canyon lane, you get flamed by your team. And then it's like, what is the point of even playing in the middle of the map at that point? Like, why don't we all just play on the sides? I don't know. I could go on and on and on and on. Glitters feels like its own game at this point. Yeah, basically. It's funny, because it's like, that's where kind of I feel like every map goes eventually. It's just that Glitters and Isthmus are so commonly played that they have their own meta. Every map will get there eventually, but for most maps, it's undefined at the moment. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's get to slapping. No. let's not do that. Let's get into the game, shall we? Spawning on the southern side here is our red team, going to be led here by Meow Cat Meow, clocking in at 39 open skill, but led very closely behind here by Mirrored, spawning in yellow here as an Armada commander, and to round things off, Aravos, spawning as a core comm. Okay, cool. So we've got a Legion, a core, and an Armada. I don't know if that's like part of the rules or if that's just the red team being awesome. But either way, over on the other side here, we have VDB, the bottom of the blue team list, spawned right next to Blossom here. Are these both? It's Arm, Core. Do we have Legion? Oh, we do have Legion. Okay, maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe there's supposed to be like, maybe there's a rule about you have to have like one of each faction. That's cool if so. We had the faction wars. What was that, like a year ago at this point? It's been a long time. The faction wars was a cool tournament put on. It was I believe it was a fight night that they did a themed fight night where they had the faction wars. We should do another one of those now that Legion is complete. I feel like it's time. Maybe I'll host something like that. Anyways, what was I? Oh yeah, we have all three factions, which is super cool. Also, I noticed that they are perfectly lined up against each other. Yeah, look at that. Legion versus Legion. Oh no, sorry. Armada versus Core, and we have Core versus Arm over here. Okay, never mind. Legion mirror matchup, but the other two are going against each other, as per usual. It would have been really funny to have all three in the game, and then all three of them end up fighting against each other. So we get a CVC, a AVA, and a LVL. They're all just lined up perfectly. Brightworks, do you like solar maps or wind maps more? Do you have a preference? You know, I used to hate solar maps for the longest time. And that's because I hate solar panels. But I mainly hate solar panels as more of a performance to try and help noobs understand that you really shouldn't lean into them if you don't have to. Realistically, solar panels are your friend. I just, you know, it's so easy for a new player to fall into the trap of thinking solar panels are efficient because they're consistent. It's not the same thing. So I'm hesitant to always say that. I'm hesitant to encourage people to go for solar panels, but I like solar panel maps. I think I'd probably say I prefer solar panel maps. Especially because I like to play Legion a lot, and Legion has cool solar panels. They look like little, asparagus. Yeah, I'm gonna go with asparagus. They've got an origami feeling to them that I really like. Oh, Alara shredding through those. Nicely done. That is 3 dead solar panels, 2 closed up, and finally opening, unfurling themselves. This is the kind of animation that only works because it's an animation and would not work at all in real life. And I kind of love it. But they are cool. I really, really like the Legion design. In fact, that's pretty much cool. That's pretty much true of everything about Legion. And the reason why I like Legion so much. Because I think they're just the coolest looking faction. Prismatic Anomaly is the first map I ever won a team game on. Interesting. Small team or large team game? Because I feel like we don't see very many like 8v8s on this map. Look at the chaos already, though. I'm already struggling to keep up with all of it. Mirrored sending tons and tons of these rascals across the map. My goodness. What a crazy investment in these light scouts. Huh. The in-base LLTs have got their work cut out for them. Yeah, now the scouts are pinned between all the teams here. Can't believe how efficient these yellow scouts are, though. All that and the yellow scouts came out on top somehow, despite being pinned between all three scouts from all three teams. Oh. Here's a big hit. Yep, there we go. Bye-bye, scouts. Parked just a little too close to an LLT, and down they go. Alright. Blossom setting up more LLTs all over the place. I kind of love that play. I think it's probably the right idea. If you know your enemy's just going to be spamming scouts, you may as well just set up LLTs just to catch them every once in a while. It's going to be awkward for the commander to deal with anyway, so you may as well just punish them. And it's not like those scouts are free. They might seem free, but they do cost 28 metal a pop, so we've already seen several hundred metal worth of scouts die today. And they're relatively cheap, so nobody's up in a panic about a couple dead scouts, but they do add up. Helios once more ravaging the static defenses here. Look at this queue. 340 scouts. Why have we invested so heavily in scouts? I don't know. Oh, little con has been set up here. Are we gonna... Well... It's definitely awkward here for Mirrored. Now caught out in the open and wondering what to do about it. Blossom wondering if maybe can go for a little bit of a trade. One thing that's super powerful is what we'll see sometimes is like a scouting raid will go behind a commander while another commander is firing at it. It activates that flanking damage, so what you actually end up seeing is like one commander can do way more damage to the other. And if it's done just right, and it is difficult to do, but if it's done just right, you can actually kill an enemy commander with your own commander without losing your commander. Which is, for obvious reasons, super beneficial. Oh. Units throwing themselves on the scouts here. This is the craziest heavy investment in scouts I've ever seen. I've never seen this much of an adherence to the rovers and rascals. Usually you get rid of these almost as quickly as you can. Are we actually tech locked? No. Okay. Sorry. Just had to check that. There is a setting that locks the tech paths. I was curious if we had turned that on for some reason. I had no, like, I hadn't seen anything about it. I had no idea about it, but if it had been turned on, it would have been really interesting. Funny, fun, fun. Blitz is coming across the map here and finding a bunch of value. Everybody at each other's throats. Meow Cat Meow has a wonderful position up here, though. Zeberg kind of put into a corner, spamming out a bunch of these Legion vehicles. Oh, we are going into Legion Decurion now. Okay. These are super expensive. 300 metal a pop and 3,000 energy. Normally you only spam Decurion once you get your overcharged mexes up and running. They're basically a T2 unit at T1 price efficiency. In other words, they're super expensive. But they are also really good. Helios. Making their way downtown. And I think, well, largely Helios, the battles between Helios come down to the shape. Dragon's Jaw here. Yeah, finding some value. Impulse, pretty effective. Yeah, look at that. We've set target over here so that the impulse keeps going. That's a cheeky play. Medium tanks coming out from the blue commander now, and we're grabbing those mexes all over the place. We're sort of stabilizing at this point. Both teams trying to find an angle to push through here. Decurions in position now. Washing those Helios and bullets. The strong suit of Decurion is just that they have a lot of HP. You can put stuff behind them, and as long as the Decurion are standing, there's not a lot they can break through. It's a lot of Helios, though. Yeah. Especially with the little set target firing, the Helios are super, super easy. You can get a ton of value with them. Look at that. Blossom in a ton of trouble. Knows it too, is on the run. Trying to escape right here. Look at all the Janus as well. Oh no. Yeah, you cannot push into this composition, otherwise you are toast. I think it's like 5 Janus missiles. With flanking damage, it's like 5 Janus missiles to kill a commander. Decurion cleaning up any of these heavily fortified areas. Mirrored lingering around the pyramids here, hoping for a miracle D-gun. If we could kill all these Decurion, that's 1,800 metal down the drain. It'd be a pretty helpful hit. Oh. Helios finding the yellow commander. Not the D-guns we were hoping for. Does also reveal here to Zeberg that there's something here. Yeah, we gotta be careful. Oh, the D-gun on these Decurion that are stepping way too far forward. Yep, there we go. Nice D-gun right there. 1,200 metal, make it 1,500 metal. Completely erased from the Red Army. Yikes. I think the Decurion are going to find a lot more value. They're great defensively here, but I think they're going to find a lot more offensive value pushing the wide open areas over on this side. This sort of spot where they can push in a little more freely here. The Dragon Jaws are annoying. Not the end of the world, though. That massive army of Helios has managed to break through, though, and now VDB is in a ton of trouble. Beamer turret was set up, but just not quite good enough. Solar panels are falling, and I have a feeling this is the end of the Cyan base. E-converters pop, laboratory goes up as well. All the solar panels are dead. Medium tanks trying to clean all this up as well, but my goodness, that is effectively all she wrote here for the entire top left-hand corner of this map. Oh, and there we go. VDB hands over all the units here to Blossom, taps out of the game, and hopes for T2 to save the day. The Tsar tank is up and running. Those are quite nice. Against grouped up units. Oh. There goes the entire blue base, though. Including the T2 laboratory. And just like that, GG is called. Oh. Are we... Well, Blossom is the only one with commanders. Zeberg has called GG, has not actually GG'd. Where did the Decurion go? Oh, did they get D-gunned? Oh, don't tell me. Well, doesn't matter. Red team manages to take the victory here. Meow Cat, Meow, Mirrored, and Aravos managed to claim their win, and they will manage to put a point on the board. Nicely done. Yeah, look at that economy here from Meow Cat Meow. Doing a great job of claiming more mexes, more stuff than the opponents. And eventually, even though we have that T2 come out to the field here, it just wasn't quite enough to save the day. Yeah, it was about a 60-40 split across the map right there. Rip. GG. Yeah. What's going on in here? Got a little 2v2 game going on. So apparently the team sizes are not all the same. Huh. Okay. I don't... Largest teams, the balance patch version. Oh, okay, yeah. Interesting. Oh, some very cheesy play here. Okay. Trying to speed cast this up, but yeah, basically Aurora and it looks like Aurora and Fortress Side DK basically spawned split up. So Aurora spawned on the northern side here, and Fortress spawned on the southern side. Caitlyn and Mistia spawned both on the northern side, and they spammed out Centurions early on to get the advantage. Managed to kill the red commander. It looks like the blue commander went down as well, though, so they're reclaiming all of that. Now they've got several thousand metal in the bank, and it looks like the idea is to go into an air lab? Okay, well, wind speed is quite high here for the blue commander. Energy. Storages coming up all over the place. Centurion looking to get another kill. Both teams down to just one commander apiece. One commander, though, is fighting on the front lines for their life. The other one is comfortably building an air lab in the back line. So, slightly different circumstances for these two commanders. I would say definitely a little sketch right here, having the red commander on the front like that. My favorite meatball boys, incapable of shooting through the walls. My less favorite rocket boys, also incapable of firing through those walls. In other words, this is a great spot right here for Aurora. This is a nice defense. Can't really push forward, though, without exposing yourself. Ugh, I'm so scared with that commander. It's 45% HP is already down so low. The yellow commander is the one building stuff. And I like stuff. We need a lot more energy production, though. Am I gonna do a normal stream later today? Oh, that's why you said I forgot it was Saturday. Yeah, I plan to. I gotta take a nap or something, though. I definitely need, like, I need a quick nappy. But yeah, I think I will be doing a regular stream later on today. 12 to 4 PDT, for anybody that's curious. Oh, I see the air transition. Okay. I thought we were going to go for bombing run, or yeah, bombing run, but not the case. We're just going for good old-fashioned gunships. Okay. Target firing is select right there, and there we go. Aurora goes down, and that's an excellent steal on the win for Caitlyn. I mean, I say a steal. It was really a well-executed plan. They spawned together on the northern side. It was very strong. Aurora and Fortress were separated. And, yeah, I mean, that's what you get. You get two commanders putting their heads together versus one commander versus two. Gonna get a pretty good result. Guess that means Kate and Co will manage to. I mean, it's not like rounds. Like, it's not an elimination round. You just get points on the board. I guess that's the weirdest thing. That's what keeps throwing me off right here. But okay. Oh, small Supreme Battlefield. That's funny. 21 minutes in. What on earth? Is this game actually still going on? Reporting chuggy as we load in here. Pardon my frames. Kyle looks to be conquering the Northern Ocean here using hovercraft. I was just saying we hardly ever see hovercraft in these games, and we finally get a chance to look at them. Rocket hovercraft going across, doing a bunch of damage to Mariji, who's going for a bunch of tidal generators, oddly enough. The tidal gens are not efficient on this map. It's better to just go for wind. Bomber's coming across too, man. Red player laying it on thick. Kyle keeping the blue teams down. Handful of salamander popping up out of the ocean here and doing a bunch of damage to the backline, making it super awkward for the red team. Yeah, they're trying to figure out what to do about all this. Killed the entire red backline production center. Now we have a single constructor out in the ocean and a little bit of aggression on the high seas. Frigates are going to be quite nice, though. We've actually gone into proper boats, which I don't think is a bad idea. There's loads of coastal harassment potential here. Maybe we even go into T2. Like, it might not even be crazy to go into... Oh, we did go into T2. Okay. I mean, obviously we missed a lot of details here catching up, but... We got a T2 lab, or at least T2 lab money. Money. Everyone and their mother is completely energy stalled, though. How has this geothermal not been taken yet? I don't understand. Were hovercraft given a little hovering animation? I don't remember that. Well, that's adorable. Okay. That's an adorable little animation. Aw, I kind of love it. Looks like the T2 constructor also came out here. That's the T2 naval constructor is a submarine, so the hovercrafts are not going to be able to kill it. Get you stalling on top of the geo spot. Please just build the geo. For those of you wondering, the geothermal is like the most efficient energy production in the game. 1,250 energy. It's extremely hazardous. Oh. We're just gonna self-destruct the salamanders. Okay. Fair enough. If you can't find any value with them, you may as well not give the value to the opponent. But yeah, look at all the geos. Like, we've got this geo back here. We've got, I think there was another one, right? Or was the... Oh, yeah, there it is. So loads of geos up and running right now for the red team is ideal. Pounders versus the grouped up unit's gonna have a field day. Yep. Okay. That trade was not what Varzak should have been looking for. T2 boats rolling out of the field. Platypus and salamander kissing in a tree. SWIMMING. We're gonna make some kind of play here. They're gonna try and pop out of the water. I think over here might have been a little bit better. Try and kill some of these solar panels or something like that. Love the brimstones here to try and counter the platypus. I think that is a good idea. Platypus are one of those really tricky ones to shut down. You can spam so many platypus and put them everywhere on the field. Makes them super difficult to kill. Buccaneers are not bad either. With the added benefit of depth charge clearing, of course, as well. Destroyer really struggling. Okay. Pardon me. My caster voice is out of caster voice. Salamanders actually seem to have made the difference here. Now those heat ray beams. These ones apparently not affected. But down goes the green commander, meaning it's one apiece here for both of these two teams. Where is the other blue commander? Ah, on the water, okay. A little bit scary, right? I mean, even just something like a torpedo bomber snipe would be very, very easy. Fighters flying overhead here, trying to scout out whatever they can. Despot battleship. Besieging everything on the land side of things. I don't think the idea of saving the comms so we can degen the base is going to work anymore, though. Yeah, now Mariji can't really do anything. Has to sort of keep the con right here, or the comm right here, rather. We're going for a whole bunch of thugs out of the lab, but yeah, this is a really rough spot here. No T2 eco-scaling either, so these vehicles can just roll on by. The Resbots resurrecting the commander Love that play. Buying yourself an extra 1-up. Oh, where's the vision? The anti-nuke boat has just been left over here, so this despot can't fire away. Oh no. Ah. Little misplays, right? Like this might have been containable here with the despot to hold on to everything, but it just isn't quite working out. Mariji is falling. Kyle and Green Fox both pushing in simultaneously. And the value is just unstoppable, especially with the Resbots resurrecting everything, right? This all just comes back up online. Suddenly it all looks quite nice. Mass Shuriken. Always used as like a panic button. Red Fighter's trying to clean all this up now. They will eventually. And what is essentially a band-aid on top of an open, gushing wound will be overwhelmed. And I think that's about all she wrote here for the blue team, yeah. Resign vote is called and passed. GG is called. And it'll be the Red Heroes that managed to take this fantastic little game on Supreme Crossing to a victory. Yeah, huge back and forth right there. The red economy basically shut off at this point, but the green economy couldn't quite keep up, and so eventually the two combined red economies was enough to overthrow blue, and green, yeah, just not quite in the game. No T2 ever. Kind of means you were hindering yourself at that point. There's only so much you can do without that T2 economy. I don't mind the T2C transition. I think that had some merit. At the very least, just to get those T2 mixes in the water up and running. But you're absolutely right. Like it should have ended with T2C, like a T2 constructor, and maybe like a missile ship or something like that. Just something that we could start harassing down the mexes on the land. There was a lot of really exposed coastal infrastructure. If all that had been killed, things would have looked quite nice. Not the case, though. And we'll head on into the next game. What is the next game? It's an excellent question. Seaplanes. Seaplanes for sure would have been really nice. Round 5, winner versus winner, and loser versus loser. Okay. I want to see a game with tactical missile launchers. I love those things. You know what? I do too. I would love to as well. The tactical missile launchers are super cool. And they're always, I don't know, they always seem to find way more value than anybody ever gives them credit for. It is a bummer we don't get to see those more often. So hard to use practically. Yeah, I agree. I will say the Armada one is really easy. It's very comfortable to use because it has so much range that you can just send it out for miles and miles. The Paralyzer is what it's called. And it does, as the name implies, it just EMPs things. But really, that is all you need sometimes. Like, having a well-placed EMP, and also, by the way, it's a 16-second stun, so it's a better stun than pretty much all other sources of EMP in the game. It's 33 seconds on buildings, and 16 seconds on units. Which is pretty crazy, because what that means is, yeah, if you have, like, a... Yeah, I don't know exactly how long the recharge... I think the recharge is like 45 seconds on it. Which means if you have two of them, you can shut down somebody's APHIS for like 2,000 metal. It's crazy. Like, the efficiency is unbelievable. And you can get them so... Like, you can get them within range pretty easily because it's just... they just have so much range. Yeah, I don't know. They're a lot of fun. They really are a lot of fun. I'm guessing what's going on right now is they're setting up the... Oh yeah, there we go. Oh wow. They're building the sheet as we speak. They're putting it together. Not bad though. Tech for the day. Awesome tech we've seen today. First and foremost, the pounder tech of parking your units on a cliff and then shooting them with a pounder so they explode off the cliff and land down below. You know what's another map that might be possible on is Ascendancy. I wonder if you could get some tanks onto the high ground on Ascendancy and then use a pounder to blast them off and send them down below. It'd be really funny. The Mosquito gunship's also looking super dangerous. I will say those definitely had a pretty impressive time to kill on those commanders. See you later, Peachy. I will say I do like the way the Banshees are turning out. The Armada T1 gunships. They feel like they're worth it. Like they're better, I guess. But I don't know. Pool 2 APM. Oh, is this it? Oh, okay, so we're combining the teams? Is that how this works? Whichever of these two lobbies starts their game first is the one we're gonna go with. Is this really the map we're playing on? This feels horribly imba. Okay, that makes a little more sense. A little. Incandescence. I feel like I haven't seen this map in a little while. This is a pretty cool one though. Typically a 3v3 map, so it'll be interesting to see a 4v4. I guess it kind of works for 4v4 because you can put somebody behind. You can have somebody out here in the corner just brawling from the start. And you can have somebody behind doing, you know, either air shenanigans or maybe doing some weird, like, vehicle drops or something like that. I don't know how they settle the maps. I think they just kind of come to a consensus. Oh. Well, now that's a change of map. I am not opposed to a little 4v4 on Project SD129. And it looks like we're ready. It looks like everybody's happy. Okay. Well, that's a hell of a map to end up on. Let's get it. Donut head ass. Yeah, it's the donut map. Might sound weird, but I really like how that Summoner's Rift map plays. Yeah, actually, that is a pretty good map. That one's kind of funny because that's a great map for like learning how run-bys work, because all the run-by paths are like laid out for you. They're like, you know, there are the paths in Summoner's Rift. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know. I like that map a lot too. It is a weird one. Weird is not bad though. Not at all. As our teams start to join us here today, we are joined by Rexel, Flying Duck, Cat Meow, Meow Cat Meow, and Zeberg. We also have Blossom, C3PO, Heavy Water, and Mirrored, spawning as our blue and red teams respectively. Looks like we're just going to be frontline maxing it today, as Meow Cat Meow and Rexel spawn on the northern side here against Heavy Water and, to a certain extent, Mirrored. Red team, yeah. Red team taking a different approach. Going to be splitting up their players, hoping their frontliners can hold long enough. The air player is really useful, I'll say that. The tech player in the back doesn't feel as useful. Like, it's a lot more useful to have two frontliners, and then you just expand backwards and go for T2 on a successful frontline. From what I can tell, the blue team seems to have a more successful lineup here. This feels like a better idea. In my experience, this tends to be what works out best, is having full frontline, and then both of these players can just expand backwards. You know, each of these gets a mechs, or 2. Flying Duck would get, like, 6. Tons and tons of mexes, and then, you know, whoever finishes claiming their mexes first either pivots into air or pivots into tech, goes T2, passes it out to the team, and from there, you just go win. You just go win the game. Yeah, I think blue has the right idea here. I think red is setting themselves up for a difficult game. Oh. Huh. Alright, well there it is. Our spawn positions have been locked and loaded. Flying Duck going to be spawning here as a green Legion commander, so that's looking quite nice. Look at that. Oh yeah. That is a good looking Legion commander. Bright-eyed Legion commander reporting for duty. I'm trying to get a good angle here. It's a little low. We're kind of at crotch angle. I guess you can kind of get cool. You can get cool shots of, like, you know, to make these things look like giants. Sometimes. Oh, well, there we go. Okay. Zoomed all the way out here, but there we are. This is a really sorry, I'm messing with the camera too much. These are some really sensitive camera controls. We're getting underway here. This is a solar map, of course, so no surprise to see these commanders going for solar. It'd be pretty weird to see them go for wind. Zeberg and Flying Duck off to a ripping start here. Are we gonna go air start? No. Okay, so that's important. Blossom not gonna go air start here. We are going vehicle or bots rather. Like, you could air start, but it would mean C3PO has a lot of weight to carry. Against two commanders of the caliber of Zeberg and Flying Duck here. 38 and 41 open skill. Yeah, that's a pretty tough ask. Looks like the first ticks have made their way across the field here. Meow Cat Meow gonna be on the defense now. Wheelies to follow all that up. Not bad. Poking those solar panels makes them close, and then they don't produce energy, which is really nice. Yeah, look at that. Super annoying here for Meow Cat Meow, because then you're immediately E-stalled. More and more ticks building here. One of those things that's oftentimes overlooked is how powerful a group of like 20 ticks is versus a group of 10. This is what 10 ticks looks like. Well, 9. This is what a group of 10-ish ticks looks like. If you double that number of ticks, you can actually just kill commanders. Like, we could, like, if we just save up these ticks right here, we could just go straight up kill this commander with 20 ticks. Maybe we'll just kill the base instead, though. My goodness. Ticks ripping apart the main base right here of Meow Cat Meow. Okay. This, I mean, yeah, we could absolutely kill this commander with the ticks. Meow Cat Meow desperately trying to hold it all together here. Mirrored is hesitant to jump this commander right here, or we didn't see it. No, we see the mechs is going up. We must have sniffed out that there's a commander over there. Yeah, if we had, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if we had saved up those ticks, we wouldn't have killed this cyan base, but we certainly could have jumped on top of this commander. It was completely alone and terribly e-stalled, by the way. 2 solar panels to the name. Had to give a few of them over here to the cyan comp so that they could all be rebuilt. Mex is in a little trouble. Yep. Self-D? No self-D on those mexes. Probably wouldn't have helped anyway, though. Those ticks were kept at the right range. LHT does come up and running, though, so that will be nice. Oh, maybe. Oh, the ticks are so pesky. Sneaking around the side like that. My goodness. Meow Cat Meow. Kind of cut off from the main base over there. Okay, yikes. C3PO in kind of a similar situation, though, also cut off from the main production center here. Went super aggressive, but now the Alaris are surrounding. If these Alaris get the surround on the commander, it only takes about 4 bursts for them to kill a commander. They do crazy damage. Technically can fire at air too, I suppose. Okay. A lot of units being sent over here, so that's good. Yep, there they go. Hey, look at that. Rexel does go down. Thank goodness. I'm glad Mirrored realized that that commander was exposed like that. Super easy for a handful of ticks to go get a snipe like that. That is just the easiest way to get yourself a giant advantage in a game like this. Because even if this metal's reclaimed, you know that that commander's e-stalled, so it's going to be a minute before that metal goes anywhere useful. It might mean they get an energy lead over you eventually, but the amount of metal you can claim from just stepping out on the map and grabbing these metal extractors is ginormous. Like, obviously, we want to reclaim it. Second to that, of course, would be de-gunning it, just to deny it to the enemy. But even in the worst case, where it does go back to the enemy, it's not the end of the world, it just sucks. LLT's coming up to guard the corpse. Mirrored must be feeling fantastic about the way that that went. It's time to start shifting our gaze towards better and better troops here, though. Ticks are very energy efficient, which is one fantastic benefit. Alaris getting overwhelmed here. Freeing C3PO from the surround. Does mean that commander gets to rejoin its troops with its life. Actually a great trade over here. Boink. Railgun anti-air cannon. It's very, very odd kind of anti-air, but it does work, technically. Kind of. Shuriken paralyzing whatever they can here, though. Just trying to make the life of these grunts ever so slightly easier. This is the perfect use case for him. Shuriken just guiding those grunts back home. Legion does not have a very good anti-air in the T1. They just don't. Their Lance the anti-air railgun thing has super long recharge, so that doesn't really work. Yeah, there's really just no good anti-air against the Legion. Or for Legion, rather. Alright. Now where does Mirror take this after that? Loads of solar panels being put down right here. You can see the entire red team is full of metal. They just don't have a way to spend it right now. No, yeah, don't get me wrong. Legion has the best anti-air, but it's all in T2. Well, their static T1s are decent as well, but most of their good anti-air is all T2. Ooh, Zeberg taking some real damage. LLT goes down to the very least. Janice, ooh, get their missiles off. That's a huge connection. Zeberg down to just 22% HP. Oh, no. Suddenly, this front line is in jeopardy. Blitz is looking to go around the side and try and kill Zeberg's comm, but he will limp away and manage to make it out before all too much damage can be done. Okay. It's a close call right there. I think with the Janus firing away, that might have just been ever so slightly better microed. Whoa, pardon me. Grabbed the wrong part of the screen there, but with ever so slightly better micro, I think that might have been salvageable. It might have been winnable. Not the case, though. Even their commander is AA. It's true. I wouldn't want to rely on it as the only AA on the front, though. We did, by the way, see that air transition, so that's why we have Shuriken in the first place. The question mark on everybody's head here, though, is why have we gone for air forces but no bombers? Bombers are super deadly against solar panels like this, big solar panel farms. In fact, I don't even know where these fighters came from. Who has an air lab? Oh, I see. Oh yeah, there's an air lab here for Flying Duck. Okay. Well, it's better than nothing. They are Legion fighters, so they're kind of but still, not terrible. Oh, the napalm here is fantastic, though. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, the napalm super, super nicely softening up the armor on those Helios. Making it very, very easy for the microwaves to beam the rest of them down. The dance begins. Both of these two commanders trying to hold on. Trying desperately to keep this front line together here. Reinforcements coming out, but I think you just start a T2 lab. Well, I think we need somebody to just start a T2 lab right now. Bombers coming in. Gonna take out the anti-air first, okay. Bombers are doubling back around. Are we just going to go for the army here? Oh, yeah? Okay. Not terrible. There's that T2 lab, though. The bull is out on the field. Oh, mine layer. On its own mine will go down. Fighters, you know what? I mean, the Legion fighters are actually pretty good. I undervalue them because they used to be pretty bad, but they're actually pretty good nowadays. This Mace army is looking pretty unstoppable here on the southern side. Bombers looking to find some value once more here. Yellow commander, forced off the side of the cliff. We're contemplating existence. Looking longfully out into the stars. It's really all about the T2, though. The longer we sit and wait, and the longer the T2 isn't on the field finding value, the more and more value the blue team's going to have. Prometheus, heavy assault heat ray tank on the field. Speaking of value, Meow Cat Meow wants to get their hands on all this juicy metal. That's another Prometheus tank right there if we reclaim all the metal here. These tanks are expensive at $12.50. Cost a dead commander's worth of metal in order to get one of these. Shooing back the resbots like vultures, shooing them away with the heat ray beam. I've got a really weird story about a guy that showed me a heat ray laser that he had built one time. Well, actually, I don't think it was a heat ray. It was like a infrared laser or something like that. The idea is that the heat ray would be used to shoot at birds that were attacking baby tortoises. That was it. That was the whole proposal. Mind you, this was when I was a child, ages and ages ago, and still to this day remember this wacky guy showing up one day and he was saying how the tortoises were endangered And we have to save them from the birds that keep eating them. And the best way to do it, and he opens this big black case, and the best way to do it is with laser weaponry. He pulls out this laser mounted on a tripod. It's like this bad boy can blast a bird from a mile away. They'll never see it coming. It's like, dude, what about the birds? Why are we instantly vaporizing birds to save the tortoises? It was in the name of preserving nature. No, I don't know if you've ever seen a natural laser emitter, but I sure haven't. Instant laser bird emitter. Instant laser bird fryer. It's like that big, solar collector out near Vegas. I've been totally sidetracked right here. Beautiful run by over on the left-hand side. Well, the south left-hand side. It's a circle. It's hard to describe. Giant run by right here by the Green Commander. Flying Duck managing to sneak a ton of these Helios through. Gonna be able to get a ton of value out with them. Shuriken on the way to do some patchwork. Stemming the flow here. Okay. Ultimately, this will be cleaned up nicely. Bomber's coming out to clean this up. Okay. Well, maybe nicely was the wrong choice of word there, but it will be cleaned up regardless. Gladiator holding the line here. That sort of middle ground between a medium and a light tank. They're relatively quick. Most importantly, though, they have tons and tons of range. They can fire a triple volley of light projectiles. And you know what? I think the T2 is making all the difference here. Yep. The bombers to kill the tanks is the funniest thing, but you know what? If it works, and in the strictest sense of the word, I mean really just barely works, it's all that matters. Blossom going around upgrading all these mexes to T2 as well. Recuperating some of the losses by just going for T2. And we have ourselves a proper T2 game. Very exciting. Flying Duck in a little bit of trouble here on the southern side. Resbots running for help. Trying to flock to their commander for safety. Not gonna happen here, though. Yeah, those lightning tanks just barely outrange the commander. They're gonna be able to do more than enough damage. Suddenly, Flying Duck is in a really tough spot. Boom, goes the Green Commander. Bull's also quite nice. And I would say the southern side has been reclaimed quite well. We do need more of those Jaguars on the field here, and maybe some better solar panels. We are now working on a fusion reactor here. The Red Commander eating up those solar panels to pay for it, which is wonderful, of course. Overflowing a bunch of that to the team would be great. Just trying to stabilize that team economy. Love the random little AA towers set up out here on the islands. Might not seem like a lot, but it does help. Loads of these Chimera have been set up all over the place, too. Dual Gatling gun, riot cannon, pop-up tower. Ultimately... Oh, yeah, nice connection right there. I was gonna say, ultimately, these gladiators fall off pretty quickly. They really struggle with relevancy later into the game. For now, though, against the T1, they can have a lot of value. Wow. What a slaughter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Gladiator army is just ginormous, so you know what? Credit where credit is due. You have enough stuff. Eventually, when you throw it at the wall, it's gonna stick. It feels super, super messy, but, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. The Medusa tanks are really nice here, though, with that long-range targeting fin. Used for pinpointing their direct target and then guiding those missiles along. To this day, one of my favorite designs ever. I didn't come up with this design, but I feel like I definitely inspired it. Like I know I've talked about targeting before as like a I talked about this before. I don't know if it went into consideration when it was designing. You probably have to ask Zephyr, I imagine, is the one who came up with this. Oh, nice nuclear bomber connection. Either way, I'm thrilled that it exists in the game, because it just looks fantastic. Oh, nuclear bomber comes back around. Oh, it does get shot down. Very, very close call. Oh, if that bomb had dropped right here on top of this, I think it would have chain reacted with the energy storage, and it just barely might have detonated the T2 laboratory. They could have been huge. Not the case, though. Legion anti-air is spectacular. Again, once you get to T2. T2 Legion anti-air is fantastic, and I think that's exactly what we saw right there. I don't think Core or ARM could have done that. I think they would have lost their laboratory. Still, though, taking out all those tanks was gigantic. It's a huge, huge hit to the pushing power right here. Wow. All right. Going for a fusion reactor and a T3 laboratory at the same time. Little greedy. Little greedy. But at the end of the day, it is the end of the day. A lot of these Prometheus coming up here. Really, really heavy investment, but you know what? I guess if you have all the mexes, you may as well go for something. Gotta spend that money somehow. The gladiators shooting themselves as much as the enemy. I don't know. I've had a lot of people try to convince me the Gladiator is good. I had exactly one game where I played with the Gladiator that they felt really good, and it was only against T1. I think as soon as you get to T2, the Gladiator really just falls off super hard. You gotta go into the Prometheus, which are so expensive. Oh, there's another one. Juicy connection, nuclear bomber, looking good. Oh, that's a juicy bombing run as well. That micro flak. It is. They haven't changed the name on this, but that is absolutely that micro flak that they keep talking about. It's basically like flak, but micro. Yeah, I don't know, it's very tiny. You're welcome. Yeah, it was loud. It blew my ears off, and I even have like a dampener on too, and it made me go deaf. That was super, super loud. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's no time like the finals for a proper T3 showdown. We've arrived. Looks like we're going to be putting out carries first and foremost. I do like the carries quite a lot, although I think the Charybdis is probably a better first tank. Like, if you just need something to get on the field that's T3 quality, the Charybdis is a solid choice. Their missiles do huge damage. Their heat ray beam is very impressive as well. And for just slightly more than the cost of those T2 tanks, they're very impressive. Carries are mean, though. Carries also have a lot of HP. They're also really good at anti-spam. It's everything that you need to keep these Medusa alive so they can keep chipping away at everything they want to. A long time ago, Medusa could not retarget. Like, their missiles would, they would fire, but they wouldn't change targets, which is the weirdest thing. Like, if you have a designating laser, then it means that the rockets are following the laser, not the target that it's pointing at. Like, that's the point. I'm glad to see that that's changed. It's also made the Medusa a much more capable siege weapon. Like, they're actually way, way more usable now than they ever were before. Oh, time for round 2. How much anti-air have we got in the mix? Doesn't look like we've learned our lesson. Bombs away right on top of nothing at all. The carries take a huge nuclear hit. Oh, no, bombs are charged. Oh, no. Yikes. We went a little too heavy with the nuclear bombers, went a little too fast with them, and they didn't manage to get their bombs off. The T3 lab should have been the obvious choice there. Oh, dang. Now the gladiators are just getting melted alive. Carriers are such a middle-of-the-road unit. But they're, like, the best. They're the best in the middle of the road. Like, out of all the units that are in the most middle of the road, they're the middlest. No, they're really good. The carries are super, super good. They have a riot cannon. That's their main gun that you see firing off in the distance. And it does so much impulse. You can see it even impulsing the T2 tanks. It does a huge amount of impulse, which means that basically everything gets stunned by it. Oh, GG is called. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The blue team overwhelming with the T3. I was fascinated by I was busy yapping away here about the carries, but I think this was just basically well played all around by the blue team. They had the better start positions. It looked a little bit rough, but on the southern side, they did manage to crack this defense. This northern side held for long enough, and they managed to take it away here. I think the eco is going to show the same thing. Yeah, nice eco scaling there from Meow Cat. Meow. GG is called. Czar is T3 tank enough. I wouldn't say you're necessarily wrong. Can we catch the inside of this game? 23 minutes. We'll see if we can catch up to this game. Might have just a spot more game left in us today. As we load in here. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a fantastic tournament, and I'd be thrilled to cast more of these. This is a very funky, very bizarre kind of a format, and I do kind of love it. The way that it basically allows you to try a bunch of different stuff. It's like the sampler platter, right? This is the cheese and salami platter of Beyond All Reason. This is the like fine Gouda. You get the Gruyere of 1v1, and then you get like a fine smoked Gouda out of the 2v2. And then you can have like a summer sausage for a 3v3, and then more of like a hickory or a kielbasa or something for the 4v4. And then at the end you finish off with a very sharp cheddar or something for your 5v5. Just delicious, delectable. Brightworks is awesome. And I love you, random citizen. Monoraptor. That's a cool name. I like that name. You've earned the cool name seal of approval. Congratulations. I'm a big dinosaurs fan. That's, you know, that was, they say every guy picks one of like the 4. You go into like construction, like equipment, you get, you know, like cats and all that sort of stuff. You go into dinosaurs. What happened? Oh, was people lagging? Okay. Where did the game end? I don't know. Oh, the game ended. Okay, who won? Allied team won, VDB won. Who was that? Oh yeah, that's our blue team. Okay. Well, we won't get to see the end of that. That's okay. We still got an awesome finals where we got to see that T3, and I'm thrilled about it. And I do believe that's the end of our tournament here today. Dinosaurs, cars, guns, and trains. Yeah. You summed it up. I was gonna say like space ships, like Star Wars and that sort of a thing. But yeah, that kind of that's really like that is basically trains. Star Wars is basically just trains when you really think about it. Anywho, Let me just double check, but I do believe that is all we have. Yeah, I believe that's all we have for today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, commanders, commandettes, and legionettes in between. I sure hope you guys had a wonderful time. This was a thrill to cast, and I'm super, super excited to see some more of it in the future. Seriously, it is a fun format, and I hope more groups get on board with it. We'll see about, you know, doing some more of this in the future, because it is a lot of fun. Super early in the morning for me, but absolutely worth it, 100%. That was super great. Not the end. Oh, round 6. Hold on. Hold your horses. I thought that was round 6. Wasn't this round 6 right here? Or was this? I don't know. Maybe not. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. C3BO is in the chat saying it's not the end. I don't... round 6, apparently. I thought that was round 6. Largest teams. Round 5 winner versus winner. Loser versus loser. Loser versus loser. That was 5. I see. I see. Well, never mind. Disregard my farewell. I take it back. You're not welcome to leave. You have to stay here. Okay. I'm not sure what the, winner versus winner... Is it like a big, like, 10v10 or something? That'd be pretty funny. Spy bots into bedbugs? That sounds horrible. I'd be so pissed if, my spy bot got killed by a bedbug. Oh, I see. You're saying, yeah, you're okay. So you're saying EMP them and then roll in with the self-D units. I see. That is pretty funny. That is pretty funny. I feel like the Joker, baby. I'm the Joker, baby. No, I don't. That's personally my favorite is to do that, but with like sprinters, because sprinters are so pathetic. It feels awesome to get value out of them. However you can, it feels good to get value out of sprinters. They're so wimpy. Brightworks Jongular arc. I'm the Jongular, baby. Brightworks Joker arc is just me playing... It's just me playing Cortex and going for Scuttles and literally nothing else. Scuttles and Junos. Oh man, are we playing a DSDR? That's crazy. DSDR for the finals is pretty hilarious. Is there 2 going on? Did I miss? Is this also happening? So there's a, okay, so there's a 4v4 and a 5v5 going on. Well, we already saw the 4v4, so I guess we'll have a look at the 5v5. I mean, I don't know, I'm just making it up as I go along. Ooh, oh, please play this. Oh, yeah. Oh, please. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna do it. Let's go. No way we get a Navy map. Oh, the Legion Navy, let's go. Sorry, I know I'm the commentator, I'm not supposed to get involved, but I'm so excited. Oh, there's no way, that's actually gonna be awesome. Oh, I so hope they actually play. Quickly turn Legion off. No! Oh, I'm so excited. There's no way. I'm so thrilled. I actually can't even explain how thrilled I am that we get to see Legion Navy right now. I thought that I like made my peace with the fact that we were just never gonna see Legion Navy this tournament. Cause like, nobody's gonna keep the water map. They actually did it. The Mad Lads. I feel reinvigorated. My spirit is lifted. For those of you that don't know, maybe there's some of you out there that don't know, Legion has recently been given their full T2 roster. So Legion for the longest time had almost complete roster, but the last thing that was missing was their T2... Wait, can you even go Navy on this? Oh. It's like... Oh, weird. It's like thin Navy. Anyway, they got their full T2 roster, and so what that means is that they basically had a, they had their T1 boats, but they didn't have their T2 boats. So they finally got them. They finally got their T2 boats. They now are fully complete. They got their anti-nuke, which was one of the other remaining, like, last things to get updated. Legion is complete. There's no more units to add. They're done. And that's exciting, right? Because I mean that is like, that marks a huge step in Beyond All Reason, like, as a game, because all of a sudden it's no longer this like mirror matchup of like core versus arm. There's a triangle happening. Yeah, I know. 3 whole angles happening simultaneously. It's insane. Making the popcorn. Yeah, oh, and the seaplanes. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, they also got their seaplanes as well. That was the other thing. And their seaplanes are cool. They're, you know, honestly, I haven't gotten a chance to look at them too in depth, but from the glimpse I got, they looked pretty interesting. They have some weird stuff. If I remember correctly, they have some really odd weaponry. Should be pretty cool, though. Man, I can't believe we actually got a Navy game. I don't know if you can, like, I guess you build a lab off the back and then you send ships forward? I imagine, like, frigates can probably sit in this water, right? Probably. Hard to say. We'll see. Here come the boats. Blossom starting up that naval lab nice and quickly here. Okay, so we do go for a Legion lab. Construction ship coming up right now. Tidal speed is pretty high. No vehicles for you, Pounder Boy. Yeah, Pounder Boy. Still some stuff to come, like an anti-nuke bot to replace the anti-nuke vehicle, and also a con drone carrier instead of the Acesso T2 engineer. Oh. Interesting. Zephyr Skies is the one who made Legion, by the way, for anybody that's curious. If you have a question about Legion, it's a great time to ask. This is about as close to source code as you could get. Boats do appear to be able to float on the water over here. I don't know about frigates, but at the very least, the Hippocampus made it out, and that's nice. Looks to be riding pretty deep in the water, though, so I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about frigates. We'll see. Oh, yeah. Kind of beached itself a little bit there. Oh, you know what? No, that frigate made it out. Okay. If one frigate can make it out, then all three faction frigates should be able to make it out. Surely. Surely, right? That's right. Zephyr's being very humble right now. Zephyr's like, no, I don't know. I don't claim ownership over Legion. I just made all the models and all the textures and all the everything else. No, I didn't. I don't own it. Uh-huh. You're not fooling anybody, pal. Subs that we need tested. That's true. I don't think subs are gonna work. I've got a feeling subs are just not gonna work at all. I also don't think that's gonna work. Its gun is like in the trenches. This is a weird map. This is a super strange map. What a narrow amount that this is playable by. I was a little worried about the torpedo launchers too. I was thinking maybe those weren't going to work, but it does seem like they're okay. Little LLT versus LLT battle going on. Flying Duck manages to claim the land. Nice. It's a well-positioned LLT right there. Oh, should have finished killing one of them. Now there's going to be two. Heavy water has lost it. Nicely done. Excellent spearhead right there. Torpedo launcher. Torpedo launching. He's torpedo launching it. Oh, did these lose their tracking? It looks like they might have lost their tracking. Nice little army on the, or navy on the northern side here, though. Red Commander's definitely got a foot in the door. Aravos is going to be in a ton of trouble here. Alright, no, pardon me, not Aravos. VDB is in a ton of trouble here. The skater doing a wonderful job. One of the reasons why I like this composition so much is that the skater will oftentimes get behind the enemy and do the flanking damage thing, which is super nice. So here's a little bit of fun tech about the Legion. Because these fire torpedo launchers, what it means is that if you can fight on the other side of like a little reef or something like this, it means those torpedo frigates can't hit you. So it's a new kind of tech where the position, like the terrain you fight behind matters a lot, which is really interesting. We haven't had that in a while. Oh, those torpedoes can fly for miles too. They just glide in the water, so they can just fly out for ages and ages. Heat ray frigate, we need to repair that. Nice repair command, okay. As long as this stays alive, as long as we can keep repairing this frigate is going to be super useful in the front lines. These heat ray frigates can blast down, well, anything. They have tons of range, do tons of damage. It's all very bursty too, so you can oftentimes target things down a lot quicker than they can retaliate. Aravos maybe in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, those frigates were thinking about it. Meow Cat, meow, hanging out here. So one of the really awkward things is because the commanders are out of the water, they're constantly exposed here, which is an interesting dynamic. That's not one we usually see. Like, normally commanders just hide underwater and only really destroyers or submarines and, well, now Legion frigates can attack them. Not the case on this map specifically, which is cool. Oh, yep. Destroyers were left by their frigate escort. See, but like this little jutting right here could be enough to basically nullify the frigates. bad. Frigate's firing away. Can we fire D-guns? I wonder if the commanders can fire D-guns in the water right now. Their D-gun weapon is above the water, but I don't know. It's pretty difficult sometimes to tell. Oh, sure looks like they can. Well, that's one saving grace at the very least. It means his commanders can be targeted. They can defend themselves from being targeted, and they can be targeted. So there's a little bit of play and counterplay. Aravos in a ton of trouble here now, though. The frigates have free reign to start firing away here. The red forces have chased away, or have been baited away, really, by the Seafoam Green. VDB moving in for the reclaim here. Aravos doomed to fall in only but a moment. Mexes will be claimed. Metal will be claimed. More and more units here. Love to see it. Units have gone down, meanwhile, over here. This was eventually cleaned up. Res subs need to get to work resurrecting as much of this as possible, I think. Reclaiming is not bad either, but either way, we need to get that metal under control. Police that mustache, as they say. Destroyers firing off into the distance, too. That was a yellow commander going down. I tell you what, those frigates, really everything out of the Navy, they can do so much burst damage. Really easy to miss something like that. Yep, there goes the green commander as well. Just a handful of destroyers, and it's all it takes. Heavy water going to get a nice little boon of a couple thousand metal. Destroyers trying to take out those coastal torpedo launchers. Super pesky. Once they're gone, though, this looks a lot easier here. Oh. Gotta be so careful. Ooh. That's a dead orange commander. Yep. No units to save it here. That heat ray is going to start melting it. Clever to step out of the water so the torpedoes can't fire away. Oh, good save. Okay. Manages to save it by getting out of the water right there. Clever move. It's funny because it's the opposite, right? Normally you'd go into the water to avoid the destroyer, or to avoid the frigates and only have to fight destroyers. In this case, against Legion, it's the opposite. You get out of the water so only the heat rays can attack you, not the frigates. Legion really turns everything on its head, doesn't it? Nice D-guns right there from the red commander. Still not sure it's enough. Purple commander, also walking into the base here. Firing off some D-guns and killing the laboratory. Blue team manages to take over the entirety of Ring Atoll Remake and manages to claim their victory. A hard-fought, well-earned Naval Legion victory. GG. Wow, I mean, I really can't describe to you how excited I am to finally get to see Legion in action. Like, the pros using Legion is totally different than just, you know, your average Joes using Legion. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a quick one. It was a good one, though. And that means, Rexel is the winner with 8 points. All right, GG. Congratulations to Rexel. Takes the tournament and manages to claim victory over all of the competition. Kind of funny to be playing alongside your competition, but it does make sense. I could see a situation happening where somebody's put in a position where it's technically better for them to throw their team's match to, like, get higher on the ranking. Like, throw somebody else's ranking off. It's funny. That was a lot of fun. Thanks a ton for having me out here, guys. I appreciate it. It was an awesome tournament, and I'm thrilled to see more of it. Please let me know if/when it happens again. Because, yeah, this is a really fun format. I might not understand it, but I definitely enjoy it, and that's really more important to me than anything else. And without further ado, I think for real this time, I will say au revoir and good day, and I hope you guys have a wonderful time. I will probably be back in a couple of hours here to do our regular live stream right here around the Brightworks channel. In case you're interested in some shenanigans, some
random and shenanigans we're going to be doing. I want to take another look at the randomizer, but we might not do that the whole time. We might do a little, 50-50 or something. We'll do something fun. But otherwise, if you're not joining us later, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, a great weekend, and I hope to see you again in the very next match or cast or whatever it happens to be about Beyond All Reason. Peace out, everybody.